Greetings, imagination connoisseurs. Once again, it is I, your Duke of Dope Discourse, Robert Meyer Burnett. I invite you to watch and listen to the Designing Hollywood podcast, brought to you by Martika Ibarra and the great, legendary Hollywood costume designer, Marilyn Vance. I am afforded the wonderful opportunity of co-hosting the show. If you are interested in the magic of Hollywood, the design of Hollywood, the clothes of Hollywood, watch the Designing Hollywood podcast, available wherever you get your podcasts from, or find the video version on the John Campea YouTube channel. That's right, the Designing Hollywood podcast. Why would you ever want to miss it? Especially if you love the movies. Well, greetings, imagination connoisseurs. Once again, it is I, your pharaoh of physical media. That's right. Let my discs go. Well, you can. And this is the place to talk about them. But you know what? You already know that. That's why you're here. That's why you're watching this show. And you're wondering, why haven't you seen what you really came to see? The main event, the man of the hour, all the way from Saarbrücken, Deutschland, Mr. DIETER Bastian. DIETER, are you preparing for war in Europe?
Hopefully not, Rob. Hopefully not. Oh, if we go to war, Rob, let's do the show as long as we can. And I say, greetings, imagination connoisseurs. DIETER here. Here I am, Rob, like a hurricane, and welcome to the B&B Motel. I'm glad to be back after my night shift last week, and it's always nice when people leave new comments in the live chat that they are missing me. But like Jerry Seinfeld said, sometimes you gotta people give the chance to miss you a little. And Rob, let's start immediately, go into it. I watched Miracle Mile, Rob. You know?
You did.
The little nice movie. And you are the distributor, as always, for films. You know, all the Hollywood American goodies that you bring to Germany. You know, this title won't fly here in Germany. We have to change it, Rob. You have to change it. We can't call it, Rob. We can't call it Saarbrücken, Deutschland. No, that's not possible. Give me a different... Do you have an idea for a different title for Miracle Mile?
One Night at the Diner.
Oh, okay. So the German title, Rob, is Night of Decision. So not that bad, I would say.
Night of Decision?
Night of Decision.
What decision's that? To pick up the phone? I wonder if I should pick this phone up. It's ringing.
Yeah. And it's always great if you got that kind of movie where you can easily put your mind in the main character. What would you do? You know, even especially back in the day where we didn't have, smartphones to communicate immediately. What would you do in the last 60 minutes? You know, it was really great take and a great transfer by really.
Oh
really
yeah.
Loved. And I don't know why I haven't seen this movie in the 80s. I have no idea, Rob. Why it skipped me?
With the remaining time, I would have taken Denise Crosby back behind the diner and, a little something. Come on, Denise.
Yeah.
That's what I would have done. Oh, wait, what?
I wanted to add another new title for this week, considering German titling. And this is perhaps takes the cream of the crop for all. Because the German title always lets me think, that is probably what fits to Rob if he watches Star Trek episode of Discovery or Strange New Worlds, considering the title of the movie. The movie is an Eastern Western from back in the day with Lee Van Cleef and Lou Lee from 1974. The English title, Rob, is Blood Money or The Stranger and the Gunfighter. So, totally nice titles, which you could translate easily. But Rob, this title here in Germany is called In meiner Wut wieg ich 4 Zentner. Translated, Rob, in my anger, I weigh 400 weights. In my anger, I weigh
Okay, I thought German titles were supposed to be like simple and easy to understand. What the hell kind of title is that? Come on, man.
Exactly. Like when you are watching a new episode of Star Trek, Rob. In my anger, I weigh 400 weight. I have no idea how they came up with this title, but this is one of my newest purchases this week. It's from a German label. Comes with a reversible cover artwork that at least you won't have the German rating on the front, so that we could at least start a little bit with physical media. And for me, this is the strangest title probably I've ever come across. Title changes here in Germany. Insane. And Rob, have you finished Blue Samurai finally?
Oh, I did. I finished. It was incredible. It was incredible. I loved it. It was totally amazing, totally fulfilling, amazing. It was amazing. Yeah. I have news for you. I have news for you. February 18th. February 18th. Do you know who?
Is this the day, Rob? Is this the day?
It looks like this might be the day.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
It might be the day.
Now I'm getting chippy, Rob.
So for those who don't know, Dieter Bastian is a big fan of Cynthia Rothrock. And I'm going to give you a little preview of the news section. Yeah. Eureka, which we're going to talk about in a minute, Eureka announced one of their new titles.
Yeah.
That's coming out. And one of them is a 4K of China O'Brien, coming out from 1 and 2. China O'Brien 1 and 2 coming out from Eureka. And
States, Rob.
And from Vinegar Syndrome in the States, that is correct. So we got two banger releases from two different companies. Very exciting. Now, since we brought up Eureka, now I'm a huge fan of Eureka. They recently put out Pandora's Box, which is a great movie. They're putting out The Cat and the Canary as well, which is part of the news story. And Eureka, obviously, this year put out, I don't know if you can see it on my shelf. No, you can't. It's covered. But there's my Saturn award, though. So Eureka announced some interesting news that I figured we would get into.
Yeah.
And it would have been nice if I had set up the shot that I wanted to put the news in, which I unfortunately didn't do. So give me a moment. But Eureka has decided, obviously they were a UK-only label, and they have decided to bust into the North American and Canadian markets. So I figured, isn't this something worth discussing? And if I can find the article, I hope I didn't obliterate the article. No, I didn't. I have it. I have it here. Let me just tee it up. This is, of course, from their news site. And you know what else? I've been remiss because there was so much news. So here we go. Here's the news from Eureka. In April 2024, we shall be launching our Masters of Cinema and Eureka Classics brands in the U.S. and Canada. The North American editions will be identical to their UK counterparts, except for subtle region packaging differences. The first Eureka releases distributed in North America will be one of the most important and influential films in the early history of American genre cinema. Paul Leany's The Cat and the Canary, and the action-packed superhero spectacle starring Jet Li, Black Mask. And we will have a dedicated site for North American titles in due course. But in the meantime, these titles will be available from all good home entertainment retailers, including the following outlets: Diabolic MVD, Oldies, and Orbit DVD, and Amazon. So that's pretty exciting. And they've got, I have to tell you, again, they do incredible packaging. And it's really great. So here's their cover for Black Mask, which is a very, very cool modern take on the on the film. And I don't mind when covers are really well designed. I really don't have a problem with it. It's when covers totally suck that I have a problem. And we're going to get into that too, because I've got a rant. I got a rant coming. I've got a Rob Burnett rant coming. So indeed, Dieter, it's good, right? So we shall get Black Mask. So that's
player.
Right. Absolutely. 100%. So that's pretty cool. And then again, they're Pandora's box. They're Pandora's box. Yep. Pandora's box. What was I saying? Here is that cover here, and look at how beautiful it is. Nice, right?
Nice. Yeah.
So there you go. That's big news from Eureka. I don't know if they're going to go back and Shout Select put out Valley Girl with all of our special features, but their Valley Girl was this beautiful box set with a book and our special features and even more stuff. So I don't know if they're going to go back and re-release their back catalog. So like they put out the Andrei Zulewski box set that had Under the Silver Globe in it, and The Devil, and another film. And I don't know if they're going to re-release that because they're re-releasing those movies separately. So I don't know if those will come out in the U.S., but it'll be really interesting to see another great retailer jumping into the North American market. Elliot Cohen over on his channel in the UK was in the UK. We got to have Elliot on this show. I watch Elliot's videos all the time. I just want to hear his soothing, dulcet tones next to yours. I want to have a UK guy, a German guy, and an American guy. Maybe we can get Heath and Jeff and have like an Avengers of physical media reviewers.
Physical media collectors assemble.
That's right. We should do that. We should do that in the coming year because I watch. Jeff's been putting out some amazing content. A lot of great stuff. Doing a lot of top 5 stuff on his Instagram feed. So check out Jeff. And of course, Heath's been stepping up his game too, and he's got a lot of new interesting stuff he's doing. And Elliot's been doing a lot more videos as well. So why shouldn't we all and get Bill Hunt to join us?
But Valley Girl is out in the States on Blu-ray. So I don't know.
Wellgo is, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know if Eureka can even put it out again.
Yeah, I don't know. And we'll get Tom from Midnight's Edge. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I don't know. That's a good question. Again, these are all rights issues. That's why you see, and a lot of these companies are starting. We have a letter today asking about a Vinegar Syndrome title and whether or not Second Sight's going to release it. And of course, Criterion releases Mean Streets. Second Sight releases Mean Streets. So it's getting to the point where, now you have to pick and choose over your boutique label. Who would have thought we would ever be in that situation,
exactly,
Dieter?
Yeah. I'm in that kind of situation, Rob, because at the moment I don't know which Shiner of Brian version I will get because I don't know how the design of the Vinegar Syndrome box will be, So this will be a tough competition, between the two.
I agree with you, and I don't know what,
because I'm just assuming, Rob, they are identical quality-wise, So that from the quality standpoint, there is no difference between the two.
It's true. Now, I have a bit of a rant to go on.
Okay.
Can I do that? Can
I
go on
a rant?
Go.
Yeah.
So, we talk about covers to discs and the bastardization of those covers by know-nothing studio executives and know-nothing design companies. When I was a kid, in 1976, there were 2 movies that came out that at the time, I didn't know any better, were the biggest genre movies of the year. One of those was Michael Anderson's adaptation of the novel Logan's Run, starring Michael York. And everyone remembers when Jenny Agutter dropped trow in the ice cave. When I was, 9 years old, I was like, oh, I want some of that. But so we all remember that. The other big genre movie of 1976 was John Guillermin's King Kong. Now, for those of you who don't know, King Kong had one of the coolest at the time movie posters. And by the way, they spent a shit ton of money advertising this movie. It was everywhere. It was on the back pages of comic books. There were posters. There was you saw, and the reason that they spent the money is they had probably one of the coolest images ever created for a movie. And that image, Dieter, and let me make sure you can see the show live so you can, you've got it. That image was this one. Nice. This image, you had King Kong straddling the World Trade Center. Yeah. You had helicopters and jet fighters flying around him. You had him with a jet fighter hull in his hand, crushed, exploding. Jessica Lange was there, and you had this very, very cool expression on his face. This image was burned into the minds of every single person, especially kids who saw it in 1976. Right? Yeah. It's cool. What do you think? Cool image, right?
Yeah, and I have to say, Rob, I like the Shout one too.
Okay, well, we'll get to that. It's just don't okay. Yeah, I'm leading up to it. Yeah. So this image was very, very cool. Now, King Kong has been released multiple times on disc. One of those times, I should say, when I first bought this movie on disc, here's what the cover looked like. This is the only way you could get it on Blu-ray.
Okay.
This was the Japanese Blu-ray of King Kong. I had to get it because this was the only way you could get it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then
looks like a Universal title with the perfect high definition.
Yeah,
logo, Studio Canal. Okay.
Here's a Paramount disc cover for it.
Yeah.
Okay. You got that. Then, of course, Shout released it. That wasn't bad, right? Yeah. Pretty cool artwork. I have to say I really like this artwork. But I have to say it doesn't have the visceral appeal of this. Now, I will tell everybody. So here's the movie poster. The most exciting original motion picture event of all time. Well, that was a lie. Everything, Dieter, in this poster was a lie. King Kong was not big enough to straddle the World Trade Center, nor were there jet fighters at the end of the movie. There was only helicopters. So everything in this image was a complete lie, which was great because for a kid, this is what life was like. You believed that life looked like this when you were a kid, when really life, you'd grow up to find out life looked like this. So that was the difference. That was the difference. Yeah. Now, the thing is, King Kong, look at this. Here's the cover for Warner Archives King Kong. That's a baller from all the way back in the 30s. That's a really cool cover, too. Look at that. Look at that. And then, of course, there was other covers. Peter Jackson had his King Kong, which was pretty cool, although I didn't include that because it's not part of the story. But here's a King Kong version from Studio Canal in Europe. Now, I don't hate this cover. I don't hate it.
But it doesn't lie, Rob. It doesn't lie.
It doesn't lie. It doesn't lie. Well, so, okay. Then we go back to this cover. Yeah. Paramount announced King Kong coming out. Well, this is the movie poster. Paramount announced King Kong is coming out in 4K, and this is the cover they're giving us. Okay?
Ooh.
Yeah, what the fuck is this? What is this? Okay, first of all, look what they've done. They've reversed the artwork, first of all. Yeah. They've reversed the artwork. First of all, how do you reverse this kind of a painting? What kind of a person at whatever ad agency they paid to create this abomination? Who does that? And look what they've done. Look at this. They have helicopters. Those weren't in the original painting. And what is this logo? Who decided this? Is this the logo from King Kong versus Godzilla? What is this? What is this? I understand they wanted to make it dramatic. This is the equivalent of putting a head on the cover,
That looks like an asylum production, Rob.
I don't know, man. They don't even, those Hueys that are on there are cooler than the ones that they got here.
Yeah.
I don't know what they've done. And what did they do? They had to like paint in the roto blades, the blades of the choppers. Who did this? Fuck you who did this. Fuck you is who did this. To all of us. What the hell, man? I understand why they're not going to go with this. I get it. It's a lie. But this is bad. Bad. And someone, not only did somebody do this, somebody approved this. Somebody said, oh yeah, this is what we're going to give to consumers. This is what's going to make them want to buy a disc. Now, to be fair, there is a steelbook. And what's interesting is, if you look, this isn't the only artwork that was created for King Kong. There was other artwork created for King Kong that they dip into on the steelbook. Like you can see on the inside with Kong fighting the snake and then Kong over the village here. This is kind of cool. And it's cool that, I don't know if the extended TV cuts in 4K, but I mean, it's a cool steelbook. And if you look at the steelbook, which I have to give it up to them, okay? It has a see-through sleeve with Kong on it. You pull up the sleeve, and there's Jessica Lange in his hand. So, okay.
So you could actually, Rob, you could get rid of the sleeve.
No, because the sleeve does make it kind of cool, So I just want to point out, I'm a little torn. I get mad because my childhood. Once again, if Hollywood can besmirch or vandalize or put graffiti on my wonderful childhood memories, they will. Like this. This image was the most exciting thing I'd ever seen, and I mean, this is coming on the heels, of course, of Jaws in 1975. This is very exciting. I love the original Willis O'Brien King Kong, the animation, So this is very exciting as a child. And this image was everywhere, and it fired my imagination, even probably before I'd seen Jenny Agutter in the Ice Cave in Logan's Run. Yeah. Just saying.
The only good thing, Rob, is considering the King Kong movie, there are different options for you to go,
I know, but look, it has to.
It's not like we are getting the movie for the first time.
Yeah, but if I can't complain about something, what's this show about?
Yeah,
come on.
I know.
This show is a complaining component.
You have every right to complain,
and
especially
I figured
about this cover.
I wanted to complain about King Kong, so there you go. And you had to go bring up Shout Factory's pretty decent cover, making my argument moot.
At the moment, and I don't know under the O-ring if there is another cover artwork here. I don't know. I have this, but I don't know it.
No, in the Shout Factory, they had a reversible cover.
Okay. But I don't know which one was the reversible cover artwork. The original one, they would just have needed a little bit of touch-up, perhaps, here and there. Put it on one word, put King Kong on one World Trade Center.
Yeah, well, there you go.
But cover lying, Rob, is standard practice, I remember
it is, and I just feel it's a problem with with AI making sexually suggestive pictures of Taylor Swift that aren't real. Look, if I'm going to get sexually suggestive pictures of Taylor Swift, I don't want them to be AI generated. Our entire modern age is geared toward lying to everybody. That's why, DIETER, I believe the currency of the 21st century, as I say now, as the Critical Drinker said about me, and I've said this, I'm glad he credited me, that personal authenticity is the currency of the 21st century. Demand truth. Demand truth. Do not accept lies. No lies. Stop the lying.
Because I always remember the cover art, I believe it was Reign of Fire, where you have
also, by the way, a Paramount movie. Though that Reign of Fire,
an insane amount of helicopters or choppers, and there was only one in the movie.
They lied too. You know what? They took a page from their own history. But I'll go for that. I'm like, good on Reign of Fire, good on Rob Bowman. That movie,
and we came for the dragons.
That's right. We came for the dragons, and they didn't lie about those.
Yeah. Okay. So where do we go, Rob? We have letters, or should I show some physical media?
Why don't you show some physical media, since that's what this show's about?
Okay.
Do it, buddy.
Let's start with this one. Movie I totally enjoyed last year. Had to get it, of course, which is Suitable Flesh.
Oh, yes.
From Joe Lynch. And it comes with nice bonus features, as suspected. And it's always great that Shudder puts out their movies on physical media. So Suitable Flesh. Next one, Cat in the Bag. But since it's from Korea, probably good Cat in the Bag. It's just called, German release, A Man of Reason. The cover is a little bit doesn't look particularly exciting, but it seems to be an action thriller. So hopefully my Koreans come through with me. And it had reversible cover artwork, so we can get rid of the German rating at least. A Man of Reason. The next one, I'm a little bit of a fan of the director. There's a lot of movies, some mediocre, some good, some bad, everything is in the can with him. And this was more in the mediocre side, but I wanted to give it a purchase too, because I love Olga Kurylenko. I bought from Jesse V. Johnson Boudica on Blu-ray, which is out here in Germany first. At the moment, only in Germany, but it will perhaps get more releases around the world. And it is a movie that has the problem, considering, epic stuff. Sometimes the budget isn't there to do something to make it look epic. And Rob, thank you for showing my little video in the supplemental section.
Oh, you like that?
Week.
I felt I let our viewers down, so I jumped right on and I'd never done a supplemental video before, so I figured, hey, it's time for a supplemental video, so I did.
And I said in the video, I want to return the Raid Redemption Steelbook back, which I haven't done yet, Rob, because after I've seen the new transfer and saw that Amazon didn't have it in stock anymore, at first I wanted to keep it just to make sure to have this new version, because I was...
Dude, I didn't get mine. I ordered it from Amazon months ago when it was first up, and they said it's available in February.
Yeah, now they have it back in stock, because I showed that is broken, the disc tray inside is broken off the steelbook. But the quality of the 4K, because I didn't expect much from, because for me the Raid was always a great action movie, martial arts movie, but not good considering the picture quality. It had black level was
terrible,
awful. The colors were awful. It actually looked like a cheap digital low budget movie.
Yes,
but this one has a new color scheme. Gareth Evans and Sony did put really a new remaster, new colors, creating the black levels are now great. So this is really a nice upgrade, even downscaled.
Yeah, and I don't have mine, and they're like, it's been delayed till February. By the way, you got to call it it's called the Rad.
The Rad,
not the Raid. It's the Rad, and the Rad 2 even radder.
Yeah.
Just get it right.
So since the quality was that surprisingly of an upgrade, considering the old Blu-rays, and I didn't expect much, and the title wasn't in stock, I was, I'm a little bit hesitant to send it back, because I want to have this movie in this quality. So I waited a little, but it seems they are back in stock now on Amazon, so then I can return this to sender.
So let me ask you a question. Isn't Coke Play On?
Play On, yeah.
Aren't they doing a Raid box set?
Yeah, but actually, Rob, I read it about 1 or 2 days ago, that they will put out the 4K too, and I already, back in the day, I showed the big Raid box that I already have.
Yeah.
And actually, I would have preferred, for once, if this was just a standard Emerald, even without an O-ring, because then I could have put it in that box. But the steelbook is a little bit too thick to put it in the box. So I don't know if I will switch to the new Play-On version, but now that I already have set the replacement in motion, I will get the new one. But this transfer, I was not demo worthy, but considering how the movie looked before, this is a worthy upgrade that I didn't expect at all. Rob, exploitation stuff that we regularly
It's the bread and butter.
cover.
It's the bread and butter of this channel. We
And-
and actually, did you hear that I got the letter that the letter from the woman who she was a grandmother and she watches our show about and the language we use. I kind of felt guilty about it. I mean, I can't censor myself, and I feel bad that I upset a grandmother that likes us, because I'm now a grandfather age, so I don't want to upset the grandmas, especially if their daughters are watching or granddaughters are watching,
and especially with the covers that we are showing here, especially this one, Rob. And it is from the same year as In My Anger, I weigh 400 weights. In meiner Wut wiege ich 4 Zentner. From 1974. I've never seen the movie. And this got, of course, a different title in Germany. And the original title is very more fitting for the movie. It's Zero Woman, Red Handcuffs. And the German title is The Tiger from Osaka.
And these are great. Look at that cover. Wait, let's go full frame on that one, buddy. Bring that. Oh, yeah. That is, there you go.
This is a limited edition, and I've
look.
Never
it's part
seen
of the
that
Lucky 7. It says on the back, it's part of the Lucky 7 art collection.
Yeah, exactly. And I haven't seen that movie, Rob, and I was blown away how really brutal for that time.
Zero. It's a pinky violence movie.
Yeah. And then we as we always like, Rob, different cover artwork underneath. The tiger from Osaka, and it comes, Rob, with a little bit of swag in it too. This is how it looks on the inside.
Wow, there's a lot of swag.
Yeah. We got here, for putting your drink on it.
Yeah.
And we got the soundtrack CD is in it. Then DVD and the Blu-ray. And the quality, okay, it's not, like I would say, the best what Vinegar Syndrome is doing with such title, but it was pretty decent for me. It was definitely HD, and like I said, I was blown away, Rob, about the brutality of the movie.
Oh yeah,
didn't expect it. So for me, a blind buy, but totally worth it.
So that was a cat in the bag that really got your bag.
Cat in the bag. Yeah.
All right.
The only thing, Rob, since we German sly, they call it a karate thriller, which is actually non-stop nonsense, because there is no karate in
lies, Dieter. Lies.
Give us lies, yeah. But totally had a blast with it. Didn't expect that much, and this would still, Rob, considering if I have to rate it here, this would still, for me, be considered 18. Still.
Wow. Love it.
Yeah. Let me just see what I will switch to. Let us go to a blockbuster, Rob, that I watched this week. And I was totally impressed by the visuals and the sound design, which both are Academy Award nominated, and I would have no problems with the movie getting both of those, because of course I'm speaking of the creator as
it's a great steelbook.
The steelbook, which comes with the 4K and the Blu-ray inside. And for me, Rob, this was totally a movie working with just the audiovisual component. I love the design work of the robots, the androids. So, and for me, what Gareth Edwards did for 80 million here is insane again.
It's insane. And by the way, this is when I have to step in and say, I interviewed cinematographer, the director of photography, Greg Fraser, who shot The Creator. He also shot Dune 1 and Dune 2 and The Batman. And you can see that on
small movies, Rob. Small movies.
I had a 90-minute conversation with him. We had a really great time. I really enjoyed speaking with him. He's really a great guy. And you can see that right now on the Designing Hollywood podcast on the John Campea channel. Look up Greg Fraser. It's Greig Fraser. And he shot that film.
Awesome.
Great film.
Rob, did you get into a little bit how they've done the shots?
Yes, we did.
Okay,
and
nice.
it was good. We did. We just
because for me, Rob, because for me it was seamless.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you when when is the CGI starting?
Well, it shows that before when they would do something like that, you would have to put markers. You'd have to put green screen elements. When you'd see the silver balls over someplace, they put us, and that shows.
Lighting.
Yeah, that should. They don't have to do any of that anymore. I mean, it's helpful, obviously, but the thing about the creator was they could go shoot these gorgeous live action shots wherever, and they went to Southeast Asia and they shot all this great stuff, and they could put it in wherever, and it's amazing because that's where the technology's gone. Yeah. It's absolutely incredible.
For me, even if you don't like the movie story-wise, for me, just from the audiovisual components, this was a must-buy. And the only drawback for me, Rob, was the aspect ratio. 276:1. Come on. I love my widescreen, but at some point, enough is enough. 276:1.
Well, they're going back Ben-Hur style or Super Panavision.
That's even more than Inglourious Basterds with 266:1.
You mean
I read it on the.
You mean the Hateful Eight?
The Hateful Eight. Sorry, correct. Thank you for correcting me. I saw it on the back on the cover, and this can't be true. This can't be true. Yeah. It is true.
Buy a bigger TV. You got to rock the 83-inch 4K, dude. Come on, buy it on time. Just you got credit. Go get it.
The next one, I saw you got this one from Kino Lorber, and I'm not sure if I've seen this movie once, but I bought it, Rob, just to freshen up my memory if I have seen it. I bought Suspect Zero from.
This was a real. I'd never seen this movie, and this is a 4K disc.
Okay, okay.
It's really interesting. I did enjoy it a lot. I mean, it's not it's not A-list, even though it's got Ben Kingsley in it. It's pretty good. Look, I will watch. In addition to anything about diseases, I'll watch anything to do with serial killers. But like serial. Not like supernatural serial killers, but like real serial killers.
It was a new movie for you, too.
It was. Yeah, I didn't see it when it first came out. And I liked it. I thought it was good. I liked the performances. Carrie-Anne Moss is in it.
Yeah. Suspect Zero. The next one, Rob, you already showed. I finally got mine. But I couldn't say no. Rob. The Oldboy from...
Have you watched... Dude, that disc is so good.
No, I haven't dived into it.
Now, did you buy it from America?
Yeah, it's only out in America.
So you spent the big money.
Yeah, Rob.
That was an expensive disc. That one
hurt. No, Rob! God damn it! Especially Oldboy. This is not the first purchase of the...
Well, that's the problem. I've got the Vengeance Blu-ray box set that has Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance. Then I bought Oldboy before. Now I bought it again. How many times do we need to buy Oldboy in our lives? Probably more than we have. I don't know.
And let me just see, because Rob didn't open it. Let me just see if I can open it. What's actually in that little folder?
Oh, yeah, I didn't open the folder.
Yeah. I will open it later when Rob shows some stuff, because it's a little bit tricky. I don't want to tear into it. And Rob already showed it. I've got one disc here, second one here. And of course, a thick book about Oldboy with some storyboard artwork. So really a terrific set. But I haven't watched the movie considering the quality. And of course, one thing Rob always does is, I'm throwing the sleeve away. I'm just cutting it down.
There's a question about that.
Yeah.
Today, there's a letter about that.
In a letter. So this is already a little bit of answering. I'm just cutting it down just so that it can fit into the box too. So you can throw it away like Rob does, or just make it a little bit.
Sometimes, you know what? The answer to the question, the answer to our viewer's letter is like sometimes I keep it. Like sometimes for instance, do I still have it here?
Yeah.
So, like, wait. If the sleeve has something to do with, like, for instance, I just want to be clear, like this that you got me, the Planet of the Vampires, like, you theoretically could take this sleeve away and throw it away and just have this, because this cover's great. But this sleeve actually is, I think, worth keeping. So, you would put this on the disc, and then it's like having a slipcase, an O-ring.
Exactly.
So for something like this, I definitely keep this. But like Second Sight,
just the technical specs.
But Second Sight sometimes, their sleeves they're just copies of the front of the disc.
Yeah, exactly.
Or like in their box set of Drive, that's got the logo on it and the disc can sit inside of it. Well, then I'll keep the stuff. It depends. It really depends for me. I mean, if it's sometimes I keep it, sometimes I don't. Now I know the idea of keeping it, that's up to you. That's up to the person. Yeah. And also, if you keep it, it gives it more resale value. But like if it also has like the Grindhouse lenticular disc had a the number on it of what it was out of 2000, the edition size. So I'd keep it if it had pertinent information. It's really up to you. But
so, Rob, I would say then I go into that letter that delves with this topic actually.
Yeah.
And I think this was the one, and it came from Pete Jacovone, and he says,
Jacovone.
I remember about
Jacovone.
I ramble about steelbooks, and even that isn't sufficiently accurate. Hello, gents. It's Chinese New Year soon, and thus I figure it's a good time to send in a letter and a tip. As always, I'm enjoying scrambling to catch up with the latest show. I haven't written in a while because I haven't had anything intelligent to say. Well, you and I, Pete, park our shuttlecraft in the same shuttle bay. So here, then, is a dumb but hugely important question. What to do with the stuff that gets detached from your steelbook after you open the shrink wrap? Of course, I'm talking about cardboard sleeves that come with really good steelbooks, and the crappy little paper slips that come with mediocre steelbooks and are generally attached with some kind of gum. The point is, these things get separated, lost immediately once you open the shrink wrap. How do you preserve them? Do you use comic books, book sleeves or something? Now here's another question, and I challenge you, damn it, to answer this question by next week. Are we going to buy the Southern Comfort 4K limited edition from Vinegar Syndrome? Yes, I can already attest to that. Or are we going to wait for a potential second sight? They released the film on Blu-ray in 2012. Do they still have the rights? I don't know. That's the challenge part. We'd have to ask Vinegar Syndrome where they licensed it from. I guess if we had a choice, though, would it be the Vinegar Syndrome magnetic box? Sounds attractive. I haven't scored one yet, but I recently got my Mean Streets box from Second Sight, and it's, well, fantastic. Regardless, Southern Comfort is a masterpiece. I have no hesitation in saying it's Walter Hill's best film. And that's saying something. Speaking of Walter Hill, I am probably the only man alive who bought a German 4K media book of his immediately forgotten Western, Dead for $1, with Christoph Waltz. I'm glad I did. I loved it. Yes, it's a shoestring budget. Doesn't matter. It's as good as a Western as anyone can make in 2023. It's on par with old Henry. And the music is great. Well, let's see what else is going on. Rob is lucky to have that UK Steelbook edition of Duel. It sold out in about 2 weeks. And that was about 5 months before it actually came out. Well, at least they did a standard edition. I can't understand the concept of limited edition that gets followed up with nothing. How does that work for anyone? So 197 words left. All right. I sent you guys a deluxe hardcover book about 6 months ago. I sent it to Bettendorf, Iowa. I guess it never arrived. It's probably still
It's still in Bettendorf, Iowa. Yeah.
Maybe I should look into it. Sure, it's not the end of the world, but things getting lost in the mail drive me crazy. It's probably not gotten lost in the mail. So I've lost it. By the way, I'm still not a member because pressing the join button still doesn't send me anywhere. Okay. Yes, I've tried VPN, but you probably shouldn't use a VPN for that. And 3 different browsers. Sadly, this is typical.
You might have to be signed. You might have to be signed in to YouTube itself.
That could be
to do that, because you can watch YouTube, and then you have to. You probably have to sign in. Exactly. I'm not. That's a good question. I don't know. By the way, we had a great member call yesterday, so thank you, members. That was a lot of fun. But he brings up a good question. So okay, so now we were talking about this earlier. You've got multiple boutique labels releasing different versions of movies. And for instance, for me, Criterion put out Mean Streets, and then Second Sight put out Mean Streets, which, by the way, I'm waiting. I put in a big Second Sight order to cover everything that they've put out that's coming out up through Green Room, which I sometimes they just wait until they don't usually send you multiple packages. They'll wait until your whole order is fulfilled. So I would imagine, and I sent them quite a bit. So I would imagine I'll be getting, because Green Room, Possessor, Mean Streets, High Tension, Inside, and then I ordered one that I never bought that was still in stock, so I picked that up as well. And then for Vinegar Syndrome, I ordered the same thing. I ordered a bunch of stuff that they have coming out, including Southern Comfort. But in terms of Vinegar Syndrome, or really, look, first and foremost, it's not about the packaging. It's about the transfer of the movie. It's always about the transfer of the movie. But in the case of like Vinegar Syndrome and Second Sight, we obviously don't mind having multiple copies of movies if the packaging is cool.
Who are you talking to, Rob?
Like, I mean, I love the fact that you got me what was it? Was it Cape Light? Who did Showgirls?
Cape Light.
So Cape Light. So you sent me the 4K of Showgirls, and
we weren't aware that Vinegar Syndrome was putting out any.
We didn't know that, but I bought and I'm proud to have them both.
Yeah,
and so it because they're both cool things. I mean, it's like collecting stuff. Here's the thing. Yes, there's the practical applications of being a collector. So you collect like one thing, but if you're a collector, and like I'm a Paul Verhoeven fan, so if there's a Paul Verhoeven thing to buy, like I think is it Umbrella or Via Vision that's putting out a new version of Flesh and Blood.
Okay.
I think they're putting out Flesh and Blood. I you know what? That just reminded me. I forgot to go get that for today's news. I'm going to order that, even though I already have Flesh and Blood. I think I've got 2 different versions. Kino Lorber put out Flesh and Blood. They're putting it, I think. But you know, if you like something, because it's just for you. I mean, it's so funny. Elizabeth, the eternal question, she's like, why do you want all these copies of Dawn of the Dead and To Live and Die in L.A.?
And considering Showgirls, Rob, I could be wrong, but I think the documentary You Don't Know Me is only in the Cape Light version. It's not in the Vinegar Syndrome.
No. Oh, right. It is. You're right. The You Don't Know Me video is only in the Cape Light. That's right.
The documentary.
And that's You Don't Know Me, NOMI.
Yeah.
Ha ha ha.
Exactly.
But that's special features. Special features obviously are things if you want all the special features. But, you know, unless, of course, I have to say that when Second Sight put out Dawn of the Dead, it rendered every other Dawn of the Dead moot. No. Except maybe the Laserdisc, just because I'll keep that.
It's the same, Rob, with the Rat Redemption, you know? Even if I had that great box set with all the swag, this version will not play anymore in the player. Only the 4K version.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, that's what you want. Yeah. It's packaging, but for me, I mean, for Southern Comfort, the fact that Vinegar Syndrome, here's the fact that a company would put the time, effort, and money behind putting out Southern Comfort, whether Second Sight puts it out or not, Vinegar Syndrome deserves my money. They deserve the cash for putting out. Yeah. They deserve my cash for putting that movie out in such a great way. I know that sounds silly, but just like I had to get that ridiculously, it cost me so much money to get that To Live and Die in L.A. French book, but I had to have it. I had to have it. You know.
And to add one more title for physical media, just showing, considering the outer sleeve, which was a part of the question. If it's a paper thing, Rob, I talked to you about that. The Wandering Earth 2. It's not a fan, you know. This is a Korean science fiction movie, and it's a little bit better. Okay. It's called The Moon.
That's a great cover.
Yeah.
Look at that.
It's a steelbook from Cape Light, and of course it has that slip on the outside. And the only thing that I do, since we have the holders here, I just fold it together and then put it in the holders. Easy peasy. So The Moon, sci-fi movie from Korea, which entertained me a little bit more than The Wandering Earth. So this is the first part of my haul, and we would have a second letter. Then we would have the letters already covered this week, and the second one is a short one. It comes but from a new name. I don't remember.
Andy wrong. I didn't mean to ship. There you go.
Yeah. From Andy Dufresne. And he says
Andy Dufresne. Andy Dufresne. Andy Dufresne is the name of Tim Robbins' character in Shawshank Redemption.
Okay. 3,500 and counting. Hi all, I just passed 3,500 pieces of individual DVD, Blu-ray, and 4K. My first DVDs were Contact, Tomorrow Never Dies, and Starship Troopers. Yeah, this was actually the start of DVD in 1998. I was the first ever DVD buyer at Hollywood Video when I worked at their corporate office in Wilsonville, Oregon for years. Boy, do I miss those days. Take care, gentlemen. This was
we miss those days too.
Yeah.
That's 3,500. You know, I've always said that I wanted to cap my collection. 2,500, 3,500, just because it's gotten to the point where I think that's a good number. Like I see people with all these. It's gotten to the point where there's a lot of people that they're putting pictures of their collections online, and they're amazing. But even I'm like, in terms of, I'm looking at their collection going like, I could never, if I watched one disc a day for the rest of my life, I would never get through an entire collection. And I think like, if I ever retire or I can't move, or I'm just like in a vegetative state, as long as I had a nurse that could plug my discs in. Which disc would you like now, Robert? You know, and if I ever get to that state, you know, at least I figure at that vegetative state from the time whatever happens to me to my death, I could at least, I think 2,500 is about, you know, I could probably get through my collection.
Would be a nice
Maybe.
one. And that's one thing some people don't appreciate, that we don't review the stuff. We can't fit every title that we get into review just because we haven't seen it and just bought it.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because we could review stuff. You know, like I think you watched The Raid and it looks incredible. Like I've said, like when I'll say like The Warriors to me, it was the Warriors, the Arrow Warriors disc. I can't wait. I should be getting my Conan. How do we get on Arrow's list? But getting my Conan this week or whatever. But Arrow's the Warriors disc, I'll put that on because I immediately wanted to see what that looked like, because I know the movie so well and I was blown away by it. I mean, absolutely blown away by it. And yeah, I mean, there's so many other channels that do reviews, like Paul from Twin Flicks. I really like his comparisons between the DVD and then the 4K. He does a really good job of those upgrades. And a lot of the time, a lot of the people that are reviewing discs don't know what they're talking about. Well, there's a lot of edge enhancement and all that. I'm like, is there though? Is that what you're really seeing? But it drives me. Reviews drive me crazy. So it's like, if you like it, if it's an overall, like, look, speaking of Showgirls, that Cape Light, you could tell the color timing was not
DNR, but we have to be honest, bro.
But for that movie in particular, exactly. You could sit there and go, so you could complain about it.
It's an alternative for that movie.
Yeah. And in the case of that, since there's already a 4K out, the German 4K and people had problems. It was comparing it to the Vinegar Syndrome version, which was way better. You know, it was. I can understand that, and it's interesting to go back and look at That's what I'm interested in, is the comparison, because again, it's whether you want the best transfers. It's all about the transfers. Speaking of transfers, I didn't buy anything this week except Vinegar Syndrome and Second Sight stuff because. And I'm waiting for it. And also, I bought some graphic novels, some hardcover graphic novels from cheapgraphicnovels.com. I bought ROM Space Knight because love ROM, and I got the omnibus. Then I got AXE, the Avengers, X-Men, and Eternals miniseries that I did not read, that I wanted to read in their big omnibus. I ordered that, and I ordered Howard Chaykin's Times Square because I'm a huge Howard Chaykin fan. I like Times Square, the Times Square omnibus. So I those are my 3 big purchases of the week, and I didn't receive any of them. So, and again, the Second Sight. So I did get a box from our unofficial sponsor, Warner Archive.
Okay.
And it's actually pretty great. They're really these things. So first of all, the first thing I got from them was the Errol Flynn movie, Gentleman Jim. Again, using the classic artwork. Mm-hmm. This is about the boxer Jim Cooper. I think it's or Jim Corbett. Pardon me, Gentleman Jim Corbett. I first saw this movie with my dad. My dad was a big boxing fan. I remember seeing this movie when I was a kid, and I remembered it because of the name Gentleman Jim, and my half brother's named Jim. So Gentleman Jim, this movie always stuck with me. And I asked my dad, "Did you name Jim after Gentleman Jim?" And he said, "Well, no." But my dad was a big boxing fan, and I remember loving this movie. So I haven't seen this movie since I was a kid.
Is that based on a true story? Rob?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is a biopic. Okay. It's a biopic based on true story. The Marx Brothers, one of the great classic comedies of all time, A Day at the Races. This is a very significant title, Day at the Races, and I'm sure it looks incredible. I love that again, these classic discs there's a lot of special features on this disc, but this is one of the great Marx Brothers movies of all time. And I'm sure it looks fantastic, definitely worth getting. Then Warner Archive is dipping into their more obscure titles, but the live action stuff that people are more interested in. I don't know if you ever saw this movie. I actually saw this movie. Craig Ferguson and Brenda Blethyn in Saving Grace. Craig Ferguson and Brenda Blethyn's like a widower, and and she needs money, and Craig Ferguson's like, let's start a pot farm. So for all you stoners, this is kind of a delightful movie. And I saw it in the theater actually, and I liked it. And then this, A Midwinter's Tale. This is kind of a comedy. Kenneth Branagh is in it. I don't think he directed this though. Did he direct this movie?
Yeah.
No, he did. He did direct this. So this is Kenneth Branagh, who I've actually never seen this. A Midwinter's Tale. It's a comedy, and I love Kenneth Branagh. This is one of the 2 movies of his.
Kenny B.
I thought he produced it, but he wrote and directed it. So happy to see that. So that's again Warner Archive. So I got these from Warner Archive. So thank you, Warner Archive, for being our unofficial sponsor. But yeah, so there you go. That's what I got this week. That's all I got. Waiting for my Vinegar Syndrome releases. Waiting for my Second Sight releases. We shall see.
Rob, while you showed the Warner Archive titles, I have opened it. So what are we getting here? We get some stills from Oldboy.
Oh, there you go. And it looks like they duplicated the Korean versions too. Paul in Long Beach loves Saving Grace.
Oh, nice.
There you go.
Okay. Do we have some super chats?
We do have super chats. We can catch up with some super chats. Let's see. Let's take a gander. First of all, our first super chat comes from Sweden. It's Stubble McShay. By the way, there's new subscribers. Universal Studios Fan 2001 subscribe to the channel. Mech Soul, Douglas Browning, Nathan Noon, Michael Worrell, Giovanni De Jesus, Tristan Likens, Nathan Heffernan, JPT Dude, Brett A, Michael Casey, David Wen, Jalderson 26. So they subscribed. So thank you guys. Stub McShave. Oh, Stub McShave. We're going to talk about this because I need to hear what you have to say about this. There's a big controversy that's erupted this week in the film world, and I need you to weigh in. And who better to address this than Stubble McShave? And I wish Irene Jobson was live with us right now so we could talk about this. Stubble McShave says, I think the Dune popcorn bucket was intentionally designed that way to get people's attention. What a simple way to get a lot of marketing to people who don't follow entertainment news. People who didn't care about Dune 2 are now talking about it. First of all, Stubble, everybody cares about Dune 2. Let's be clear. So for those of you who don't know, at AMC theaters and I guess other theaters, you know, they have sometimes when a movie comes out, they'll have a premium popcorn bucket. You pay like $10 and you get this refillable popcorn bucket. Well, they had the IMAX Dune re-release with a 10-minute extended trailer of Dune 2, and apparently you can buy the new Dune 2 popcorn bucket. Have you seen the new Dune 2 popcorn bucket?
Yeah. So
okay,
Thomas Logan did send me a picture of it, but I didn't see the opening of the bucket. I only saw it from.
Okay, Dieter. Well, that's what this show's all about. This show, Let's Get Physical Media. We don't just talk about. We talk about movie news. Here it is. Here is the Dune 2. Now, this is an actual. It's a popcorn bucket with this plastic thing on it. Obviously, that's the open maw of a sandworm. Or it's whatever you want to imagine it is, I suppose. And you stick your hand in there to get the popcorn out. So, Dieter, I want you and everybody at home to take a good long look at the Dune 2 popcorn bucket. I, of course, saw this and immediately decided I needed to have one. So, Dieter, what are your feelings about the Dune 2 popcorn bucket?
Can you get your hand even out? Again,
I don't know.
Is it more like the Dune box? Is it more like the Dune box thing?
I would think that this is sweeping Germany. I mean, this seems to be tailor-made for you kinky Germans.
I don't know if we will get the same buckets.
Oh, I think you will. I think a German designed this. Come on.
German ingenuity.
German ingenuity. So how do you weigh in on the Dune bucket?
Well, Rob, since I'm not really a popcorn guy in the movies.
Oh, that's you can't cop out like that. That's a cop out.
Yeah, it's a cop out. But for me, there are people who are collecting these types of popcorn buckets. We are collecting physical media, and other people collect the movie popcorn buckets that specifically have a specific design. So for me, if you
that's
want
a specific
one,
design, all right. It's very specific.
Probably, Rob, the only thing that this bucket will do, raise the popcorn price.
Well, yeah, it's going to raise something. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
I look at this and it raises something in me, a desire to see Dune 2. Can't wait.
Now I'm thinking about a popcorn bucket for American Pie.
That's hilarious. Or Diner, if you want to go back that far. So Stubble McShave, there you go. Stubble's theory is, of course, they wanted to bring more press to the movie. I don't know if that's the kind of press that they want, but they got it. Josh Sale became a subscriber of the channel. Thank you. Blake Studwell. Studwell says, I didn't know this. 28 Days Later is literally not available anywhere. No VOD, no streaming. It says unavailable, like all that jazz. What the F? What the fuck? That, you know what? That doesn't surprise. I mean, I have 28 Weeks Later and 28 Days Later on disc. But, here's the thing. They're talking about doing a 28 years later or 28 months later. They're talking about doing. So they might have pulled that movie down from streaming to hold it back so they can redo it or do a new because it was shot on video, so it
especially if a new title for an IP comes out, sometimes the people go back to the old ones,
Yeah, and they might do a set or they might do some kind of a promotion. So if they indeed do that, maybe that's why they did. But this is the problem with streaming. And, we talk about exploitation titles or genre titles. They're always the first to go. They're always the things that the analytics might not necessarily be there. I really like 28 Days Later, and I love 28 Weeks Later, too. I think they're both really, really, really great, really great movies. So Blake,
is Danny Boyle involved with the new one? No.
Yeah, he is. And Alex Garland.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if he's going to direct it, but they're involved.
Nice.
They're involved. Nice. They'd have to be. Joey Johnson says Shout Factory releases Dark Crystal on digital February 6th. Do you think they'll release a new 4K transfer different from the 4K Steelbook I already own? That is a good question. I don't know the answer to that, but I would assume probably not, because then somebody would have had to pay for a new transfer. Yeah. That movie always looked like shit on home video. I have the 4K disc and I haven't looked at it.
Is the 4K not good, Rob?
I don't know. I haven't looked at it. But when it came out on home video back in the day, it was not good. I remember getting the first time I ever had that movie on home video, it was Thorn EMI released it.
Yeah.
When it, like in 83 or something. And it looked terrible. It was just grainy. It just didn't look good. I'm sure the 4K looks infinitely better. But I have not seen that transfer. So I don't know. But I would imagine it is in fact the same transfer. I would assume so.
Yep.
A spider just landed on me from the ceiling. So scary. A little scary.
So we are witnessing live. You're turning into Spider-Man.
I am. There you go. Maybe I'm going to get bit by a spider. B-Dep wants to know, I know he wants to know if I've talked to George about Under the Rainbow. I have not yet, but I will ask George about Under the Rainbow. B-Dep says, hey, Rob and Dieter, I just wanted to show support for the show. I love Let's Get Physical Media. Well, thank you, B-Dep. He was in the member chat yesterday. It was good to see him. Cara Hughes became a new member of the channel.
Rob, Joey Johnson says in the live chat, the 4K transfer of Dark Crystal is awesome.
That's good. Okay, good. That's good. That's good, Joey. That's good to know. I'm glad, because on VHS it looked terrible. But then again, everything on VHS looks terrible. So, but yeah, that's another movie I've bought on Laserdisc. I bought all these different formats.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Not a kids movie.
Yeah. So we're caught up on super chats and tips.
Nice. Do you want to go into the news section? What's coming out?
We could go into the news section. There's a lot of good news. First of all, this is very exciting. If you're a Francis Ford Coppola fan, as I am, he's gone back and he's done things like Apocalypse Now Redux. And there's 3 different versions of Apocalypse Now. There's the final cut. He did a new cut of Godfather 3, which is okay. But he's revisited his musical from the early 80s that stars Frederick Forrest and Terry Garr, One from the Heart. And so this reprise, One from the Heart reprise, and this is a reimagining of One from the Heart. So this is from Studio Canal. It has the original version of One from the Heart in 4K, because he always puts the original version on there. And it has the reprise version of One from the Heart, which he revisited and re-edited. So this is really exciting. There's a trailer for this version, and it looks the transfer looks incredible. I really like this movie. It's not for everybody, but I really enjoyed it. And he basically famously self-financed it, and it bankrupted him. So he built these.
Do you know how the differences are with the revised version?
I have no idea, because I haven't seen. I don't think anyone's seen it yet, but they just released that, and I'm very excited to get that, which I think is very, very cool. And now there is there's a new player in the boutique labels, and they're called. I want to get it right, but they're putting out the Jamie Lee Curtis title, one of them is Terror Train, which, back when Jamie Lee Curtis, Prom Night, Terror Train, Halloween, I mean, on the wake of Halloween, Jamie Lee Curtis became everyone's favorite Scream Queen, which was pretty interesting that was the case, but very cool. Now, Dark Force Entertainment, and they're putting out a 4K of Terror Train. I kind of like this movie, so I would definitely. I don't know about this cover, but because I like the original artwork had like a conductor. I don't know where this came from. Maybe it's European or something, but and maybe this isn't final. But I don't want to complain. They're putting it out, and they're also putting out the giant spider invasion, and that's pretty cool. I'll show that in a minute. So that's from Dark Force Entertainment, and hey, I'll get that. Cool, another genre title.
Yep.
A favorite movie of mine, directed by Ted Kotcheff, who directed First Blood. He also directed Split Image, the cult movie that I showed coming out from Kino Lorber. Again, a movie that I went and saw with my dad in the theater because it was football themed. They're putting out the 4K version in Dolby Vision of Ted Kotcheff's North Dallas 40. This is looking behind the scenes, pulling back the curtain of NFL and how difficult it is, and the hard-partying, battered life of an NFL player. And Mac Davis and Nick Nolte are in this movie. I saw this movie when it first came out. I was a little probably too young to see it, or was I ever too young to see movies? But my dad took me to see this. Looking forward to getting this from our other sponsor, Kino Lorber, in 4K. This is in Dolby Vision, and I think it's Dolby Atmos as well. So this is a cool 4K that I want to get. So good for us that's coming. So yay. Oh, here's the other Dark Force, the giant spider invasion. They're creepy, crawling, and crushing. So, they're delving into, it's amazing. There's still genre movies from the 70s you can have a new company put out. So that's exciting. So look for those. Very cool. I don't know if this is 4K or not, but it's coming out. So hey, let's, it is not 4K. So good for you, Dark Force.
Yep.
But it's coming out. Then Imprint from down in Australia, along with, between 88 films, 101 films, we're getting so many, and then the titles you buy from Asia itself, we're getting so many great titles. Imprint has launched a new Asian label.
Yeah.
So here it is, Imprint Asia. So they have 3 titles they're announcing. Lost in the Stars, and I don't know anything about these titles. The Sea is Watching, which I'm sure are great. And then also they're re-releasing the new version of Zatoichi the Blind Swordsman. I believe it's the new version. Yeah, with Takashi Kitano, which is cool. So we've got those coming out. More Asian cinema coming, which is always a good thing. It's great that we're getting between 88 films and 101, and now Imprint Asia. We're getting unbelievable.
And the last Sea is, I think, a new movie. It's not an old movie.
Yeah, I think so. You're right.
Or Lost Sea. Is it Lost Sea or Last Sea?
Well, it's The Sea is Watching.
No, the other one, Rob. Before that, the Lost in the
Stars.
Lost in the Stars. That's what I meant.
Yeah, I
mix them together.
Yeah, well, which is great. I'm excited that we're getting more stuff like this, which is terrific. All good for us. Then we've got Radiance coming out with this movie, Black Tight Killers. They got a bunch of new titles coming out, so good on Radiance. You gotta love this company putting out great stuff. Everything. I want to get everything they put out because again, Radiance is also, in terms of, they're not just releasing, they're going back into the 60s and getting great Japanese films, and they're really doing a phenomenal job. I think because of their emphasis on Asian cinema, that's why they decided to go with that Obi. I don't know
and
why.
That's one you don't throw away, Rob.
Because that's inside the sleeve. Yeah, you don't.
Yeah.
You don't throw it away. Thank you, Radiance, which is cool. So they're putting that out. Very excited. Very excited for more Radiance titles. 101 Films, speaking of 101 Films, they're putting out Abel Ferrara's Fear City. Melanie Griffith. You know, I love Abel Ferrara. Ever since I saw Driller Killer, he's been a favorite of mine. I mean, I'm not saying all of his movies are great, but like his Invasion of the Body Snatchers was pretty fucking good. The one with Meg Tilly. Where you gonna go? Where you gonna run? When there's no one left like you. So good. But he's done a lot of really interesting movies. He's crazy in real life, but Fear City, what a great, again, 101 Films, putting out movies like Roller Coaster.
That's probably what makes him special, Rob.
Yeah, well, there you go. So Fear City, this looks like a great release. Definitely pick that up from 101. Yeah. Speaking of Kino Lorber, they're putting out Paint Your Wagon. Lee Marvin and Clint Eastwood and Gene Seberg. Doesn't everybody want Paint Your Wagon? This is in 4K. Crazy. It's crazy that they're putting this out. And wow. So there you go. Nice. Paint Your Wagon's coming out from them. Also, another movie that I quite like is Changing Lanes with Ben Affleck and Sam Jackson. This is a great title. Road rage can lead to bad places. And again, this is in 4K. So I'm happy to get this. I really like this movie a lot. Great performances by both actors. So very exciting. Another great movie coming out from Shout Factory. I don't know if this is Shout Select or not, but Rolling Thunder. This is a big favorite of Quentin Tarantino. Great film. I love this movie. He called when he started his own distribution company in the 70s, he named his distribution company after this movie, Rolling Thunder. So this is coming out from Shout Factory. Very exciting. So it's great to get that. I'm sure it'll be a great title. Now this is for you, Dieter.
Ooh.
Motley Crue.
I already have the Blu-ray, Rob. I'm contemplating if I buy it again.
Motley Crue live in Los Angeles in 4K. Come on now.
The so-called final concert, which was not the final concert.
Well, wait a minute. Are you saying you're contemplating buying the 4K? Contemplating? Like there's a question?
For this title, Rob, I will wait for the reviews of it. You know, I don't know how the concert was shot.
Well, now it's called Let's Get Physical Media with Rob Burnett. Dieter Bastian's gone. Sorry, you're out. You got the heave-ho, buddy.
Review,
you got the heave-ho.
Let's see a review of the
All right. Motley Crue, The End, coming out live in L.A. Yeah. Was it a good concert? Was the Blu-ray good?
Blu-ray was good, yeah.
Okay.
Was nice. And it was the so-called, the so-called final tour. The 100th final tour.
What are you going to do?
Even signed a contract, that they won't play together. But okay.
Our favorite company, Down Under.
Yeah.
There we go. Look at this. They're putting out Umbrella, releasing He-Man. Now, this is not in 4K, but, if you like He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, it's a big slipcase version. Check it out.
Yeah.
Why not?
Skeletor.
There you go. He's great as Skeletor. And they got a couple of really interesting things coming out. So they got He-Man, the Masters of the Universe coming out. They have, now I've never seen this. This is a Sean Connery movie called Ransom. I've never seen this movie, but again, on Blu-ray, but it looks like a great release. A lot of swag in one of their slipcases. Really cool. I'd get this just because I love Sean Connery. It looks like a crime thriller. I know nothing about this movie. I'd never even heard about this movie till I saw this release. So there you go. And then we've also got coming, I can't believe, The Great Coffee, one of the great blaxploitation titles of all time. How can you not want this? The answer is, well, I don't know, because I certainly want it. And this looks to be like a great release. Pam Grier, this might be one of her greatest roles. And look at this disc. The baddest one-chick hit squad that ever hit town. She's the godmother of them all. Look at the...
I don't know, Rob, what is the outer box of the set? What is the inner? Is there There's so many cover variations here.
Well, here you go, buddy. Look at this. So
okay, we have the emery,
and then you got the slipcase. You got the slipcase. And look, what I like is if you look, the left is the box that it comes in.
Okay. Great.
You know?
That's great.
So, yeah, this is a must-buy, at least for me. I mean, as a Pam Grier fan, you got to have this. Come on. Yeah. And then, of course, Tank Girl. Tank Girl. Look at that. I mean,
Lori Petty.
Lori Petty, who I met when I was working on Free Willy, who I like. She was very nice. But, I don't love this movie, but it's something I think everybody needs in their collection, and this is probably the definitive version of it that's not in 4K. But still.
What movie did Lori Petty direct, Rob?
Oh, yeah, you sent it to me. I forget the name.
Pogo.
That's right, Poker House. That's right.
With J-Law.
That's right. Yes,
great movie,
true.
Rob. Great movie. I was surprised.
Is it a great movie?
I was surprised. Yeah.
All right, and then finally, that rounding out.
It is autobiographical.
Well, that's true. Time Addicts. I don't know anything about this movie. Rewind, relapse, repeat. Time Addicts. It's a time travel movie. I don't know anything about this, but again, coming from Umbrella, I'll buy it. Why not? Why not buy it?
New movie or an older one?
I don't think it's new, but maybe it's low budget, so this would be a cat in the bag. Yeah. Don't know this movie, but pretty cool. I mean, hey, Time Addicts. Why not? And then finally, also coming from Kino Lorber is Jonathan Demme's remake of The Manchurian Candidate, which is one of these movies like Dawn of the Dead. It stars Denzel Washington, Meryl Streep, and Liv Schreiber. I was so adamantly opposed to this movie because The Manchurian Candidate is one of my favorite movies of all time. The original, John Frankenheimer's original. No. So I'm like, how dare they? Like Dawn of the Dead.
Once again.
But like Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead, I liked this movie quite a bit. I was very surprised at how good it actually turned out. So I don't have a vehement hatred of this movie the way I did before I saw it. So this is the 20th anniversary of this movie. And, Kino Lorber is putting it out again in 4K. So thank you, Kino Lorber. So that's exciting. Again, Kino Lorber's really, these are all Paramount titles. So they're going in and again, I'm happy that they're putting out, Kino Lorber's been putting out a lot of Paramount titles in 4K. So Paramount must be doing the work and then Kino Lorber's been putting it out. I mean, I understand that Paramount's probably running the analytics and says, okay, maybe we won't be able to sell enough that it's going to make it worth our while. But it's amazing to me that the studios are taking their back catalog and not releasing it themselves and licensing it out to another company. Yeah. I guess
I can see Manchurian Candidate, but not Face Off. Face Off is a little bit of a different beast for me.
Again, I think it's because the people that work at the studios, they don't know anything about their own catalogs. They're not, and you know what? I don't know. And this is a Denzel Washington movie.
Yeah.
And it's Jonathan Demme, and Academy Award winning, Silence of the Lambs and all that. It's like, come on.
Yeah.
Really?
Okay.
What are you going to do?
But we have Kino Lorber for that.
Thank you, Kino Lorber.
Yeah.
Top 20 sellers for the week.
Yeah.
Not any surprises here. This is overall discs. Oppenheimer, so DVDs included in this. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, Five Nights at Freddy's, The Expendables 4, Equalizer 3, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, Barbie, The Holdovers, Transformers, and John Wick, Chapter 4. Nothing surprising there at all. Top of the charts. Top 20 Blu-ray discs, Oppenheimer, Five Nights at Freddy's, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, Expendables 4, Equalizer 3, Mandalorian, complete first season, Avatar The Way of Water, The Mandalorian, the complete second season, and John Wick Chapter 4. And now for 4Ks, Oppenheimer, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, Equalizer 3, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. They must have re-released that on disc.
Or Schnäppchen, Rob. Or it's a Schnäppchen.
Oldboy, look at that. Oldboy. Did that Oldboy from Decal
Right.
that we've been buying? I can't believe that would be number 5 at that price, but there you go. Maybe it's a different version. Because the one we bought was from Neon, or maybe Decal just released it. I don't know.
Let me just see, Rob. It says Neon here.
Yeah,
Is there any-
but Decal might have been the video distributor. Or maybe that's the special edition that only comes from Neon, like buying it from A24 directly.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I don't know. Maybe that's it.
Not seeing anything about.
Yeah, that must be the
Decal
special. That's
here.
yeah. I would imagine that Decal probably, because they put out I think they put out like Crimes of the Future. So the second I picked that up. So The Fifth Element, that was because they re-released that Steelbook.
Book, yeah.
Avatar: The Way of Water, Bram Stoker's Dracula, Varsity. I gotta get that. I think I have it in 4K. I gotta check. Varsity Blues, another Paramount title that they put out as a Steelbook. It's funny, they'll put out like Varsity Blues and Ferris Bueller, but they won't release Manchurian Candidate or Face Off. Interesting.
Yeah.
Expendables
Strange
4
choice.
coming out from Lionsgate. So that's not quite all the news. I have a news story that I would like to cover that I think is pretty interesting. This comes from our friends over at Media Play News, and you're gonna be off the screen for this one. But
no problem.
Universal Pictures ups Q4 home entertainment revenue to $345 million. Universal Pictures Home Entertainment on January 25th reported that the fourth quarter revenue of 2023, that's fourth quarter of the fiscal year, was up $245 million, up slightly from a revenue of it's $345 million. It was up slightly from $339 million the previous year period. So, for the fiscal year, revenue increased $1.315 billion. So this is interesting. So for the fiscal year of 2023, Universal's revenue, home entertainment revenue, went from $1.315 billion, so $1.315 billion. It went up to that. Last year, in 2022, it was $1.302 billion. So it went up more than $10 million. So that's not bad. But
Not a decline, Rob. Not a decline.
not a decline, but that's because of their what? Say it with me now. Their very strong theatrical films for 2023. These were all theatrical films.
Yeah.
Home entertainment revenue was driven by director Christopher Nolan's Golden Globe-winning and Oscar-nominated Oppenheimer, the Super Mario Brothers movie, Five Nights at Freddy's, The Exorcist Believer, and Taylor Swift, The Eras Tour premium VOD revenue. So all of these theatrically released movies did really well on premium video on demand. So people bought the rentals, not necessarily physical media, but they did buy VOD rentals. Corporate parent Comcast categorizes home entertainment as other media revenue, which consists primarily of the sale of physical and digital home entertainment products, as well as the production and licensing of live stage plays and the distribution of content produced by third parties. In the fourth quarter, Universal Pictures Studios revenue topped $3 billion from $2.9 billion in the prior year period. For the fiscal year, studio revenue topped $11.62 billion, down from revenue of $12.25 billion in 2022. Studio revenue increased primarily due to higher theatrical revenue, including the performance of the Super Mario Brothers movie, Trolls Band Together, The Exorcist Believer, and Migration. Content licensing revenue was consistent, as higher content licensing revenue at the movie studio was offset by lower content licensing revenue as the television studios, primarily due to the timing of when content was made available under licensing agreements, including the impacts of last year's Writers Guild and Screen Actors Guild strike. So the reason that I wanted to read that is because physical media did play a part. When you have theatrically released films that drives the rest of the business. So having that, why there is this reluctance to forego a major release, because I know they don't want to spend the marketing dollars, but a major studio release can make sure that your movies are more valuable than they would be otherwise. And I still maintain that I know now I'm going to get, I get letters and comments, well, I'm immunocompromised, I can't go to the theater. I understand that. So stay home and watch streaming movies. But you'll know about those movies if they have a big theatrical release. You'll be like, I wish I could have seen that in the theater, but I'm immunocompromised, and in which case you'll know about the movie because it had a big theatrical release. So when it comes on VOD, you might be one of those first people to pay that extra money before it goes on to streaming, which drives that revenue stream for the studios, which is a great thing. So, I mean, it didn't take a huge jump, but it didn't fall.
Yeah.
So,
and there's the special example, Rob, in that list for me. It's Five Nights at Freddy's. You know that I hated the movie. You know, one of the worst of last year. But Five Nights at Freddy is a big IP now.
It's a big IP, and it was a pretty big hit for the studio because it didn't cost much money.
Definitely. Definitely.
So, so that's.
So it has a bigger reputation, like you said a lot of times this week. If you are giving the movie a theatrical run, you know, even the creator, you know, it was actually not was a flop at the box office, but still, it has now more value. You know,
it has more value, and it still made money. If it went to streaming, it would make zero. You know, and people. Yeah. Here's another thing: people have said to me on the comments on the last couple shows I've done on Robservations. Well, Rob, now there's an ad tier on Netflix. Yeah. But what people have to understand is ads are not like they used to be on a TV show. So, for instance, if you are a company that was buying an ad on, say, Friends, you know, and you're buying that ad revenue on Friends, that ad revenue that Friends is generating, people know it's for Friends. You know, if Friends had this much, like when the Super Bowl comes around, the NFL and the networks make a lot of money because they spend, or they want millions of dollars for a 30-second commercial. So all of that money goes into their coffers. When Netflix has an ad tier, they're going to put ads in anything that you watch. So a movie doesn't necessarily get more money. I mean, unless, as far as I understand, maybe the analytics could tell you, but Netflix as a whole you're paying for Netflix. It's not like advertisers are buying individual advertisements on movies or shows that are streaming on Netflix. What they're doing is they're buying ads on Netflix in general, and those ads will be inserted in what anybody watches, whether it's Love on the Spectrum or whether it's your favorite movie that you want to watch or it's a Netflix show. So they don't, as far as I understand, they don't make those distinctions for the ads, whereas the ads on network television were always targeted and people would buy advertising for specific shows. That's why for hit shows they could charge more for advertising. So they would know this show is generating this much money every week from advertisers, and that's what they kept track of. So it's a different thing. So it's weird because people are still trying to wrap their heads around what all of this means in terms of residuals and things like that. And people don't understand that if Netflix buys Suits, or if they're licensing Suits to run on their channel, so they're paying Universal and whoever owns Suits, they're giving them a licensing fee, and they're the owners of the show. They're in charge of distributing whatever that licensing fee is based on their previously existing contracts, whether it's SAG contracts or whether it's the owners, the producers get a chunk of change. So when Friends was sold to Netflix, when they licensed it in 2019 for $100 million, that was $100 million of found money. Now that money, the people that got residuals, their residuals are probably done with. So they don't necessarily have to get residuals still, depending on what deal they made. But the people that own the show, the producers of the show, they would get money because they have their deals. So whatever revenue is generated from that show, somebody's still got a pretty big payday. So it works differently.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yes.
Yes. So, and it was nice of you this week to hear about two different type of movies. One, Roadhouse, will go direct to streaming, and then Jordan Peele saves another movie to get it a theatrical.
Yeah.
Please, what was the title of
Monkey Man. Monkey Man, directed by Dev Patel. And for those of you who didn't watch my quick observations, I thought this was really interesting. So Monkey Man was going to be a Netflix movie, and it was shot a couple years ago. So it was going to be a Netflix movie, and Jordan Peele saw the film, and what he did was he thought it was good enough to release theatrically. So with his Monkey Paw company, he has a deal at Universal, an overall deal. He said, why don't we acquire this movie so it doesn't just go to streaming? And it's supposed to be like John Wick in Mumbai. So it's an Indian set film.
I'm in.
Right? And the trailer looks fantastic. I was like, I'll watch this. So you had a guy like Jordan Peele who didn't have to do this. He went to stake. He has an overall deal with Universal, and rather than set himself up with another project, he wanted to acquire this movie, and he's betting. And he went to Universal, and so is Universal betting on this movie now. They both looked at it, thought it was good enough to release theatrically, and they're giving a big push. Trailers dropped. It comes out, I think, April 1st. So I think that was a really great thing that Jordan Peele did. So they're taking a movie that would go direct to streaming, and they think it's worthy of releasing theatrically.
Is Dev Patel playing in the movie too? Or
yeah, he's the star.
Directing? Okay.
He's the lead. Yeah. Nice. So,
right.
And Monkey Man, we've seen the Monkey Man is a Hindu god, and we've seen other iterations of that. There was a Monkey Man where the god shows up, the real half monkey, half man. There was a movie that came out just a couple of years ago. They made 6-scale figures from that movie. So, but he's playing the human incarnation, I guess, or somebody who's channeling that idea. Kind of like what Moon Knight should have been. But anyway, that's just me. Yeah. So there you go. That's cool.
Yeah. So, Rob, you did try your best in the thumbnail with the description. Will I have time to do the live chat? Come hell or high water, I will have time. And the time is now, or I could show some more physical media. You can choose, Rob. Do you make a break, or do you want to see more physical media?
Oh, why don't you show more physical media first?
Okay. Since you brought the movie up in the beginning in the news section, China O'Brien. Rob, did you saw the clip of Red Letter Media that I did send you?
Yes.
That was fun. Speaking of buying movie more than once, I already bought, Millionaire's Express, Sammo Hung's film with Yoon Pugh, and of course Cynthia in it. Is a little bit of a comedy western. And I bought a German media book too, Rob. In Germany, it's called the Shanghai Police from Nameless, so it's a limited edition. This is a media book, and the Eureka one has, like I said, 4 versions of the movie, and the German one puts one on top, Rob. It has 5 versions, because the German version is here too. And like I hear, Rob, like with Free Enterprise, the dub seems to be funny for Shanghai Police.
Wow.
So I would probably need to watch Shanghai Police with the German dub. This one, I think you showed it last week, Rob. I got it too because of the great reviews, but it's a cat in the bag for me. Don't know what to expect. I got the crate.
The Vixter sent that to me. Yeah, she sent. Yeah. I haven't watched it yet.
Have you seen it, Rob?
No, I haven't. I can't wait to watch it.
So, cat in the bag for you too. The crate as K-pop. Nothing special. Just an O-ring. No versatile cover artwork. The next one. Speaking of defected steelbooks, like the Red Redemption, not that particularly broken, but just that little dent that I would say,
I hate that.
Probably have to get a replacement from Italy. In Italy, because in Italy it's out. Killers of the Flower Moon
Oh,
as a steelbook. And I don't know if you can see it as just. Probably not, because it's luckily in the black of Leo's nose. So it has the Blu-ray and...
is the movie spread over 2 discs?
No, Rob, no. We have just a 4K and a Blu-ray. So it is one disc. But there are... Let me see, Rob. Do we have any extras? Okay, there is a featurette, but I don't know how long this is. And it's probably on the Blu-ray, I would think. And for people who love Dolby Atmos tracks, it doesn't have Dolby Atmos tracks. It just says here, if the cover tag specs are correct, just DTS master audio for it.
Well,
Killers of the Flower Moon. Out in Italy on 4K. Then, Rob, I bought a German movie. And I think it is an older movie. I don't know if I have seen it on television, perhaps. It's a 4K edition, and the film is just called Supermarket, Rob. Or Supermarkt, you know.
okay.
Cat in the back.
I saw that was for sale. I didn't know anything about it. Is it Die Hard in a supermarket?
I have to check, Rob. So it's from Camera Obscura.
Gun Battle on Aisle 6.
It's from Camera Obscura here. So it got the 4K and the Blu-ray, and it comes with a booklet. No, it's edition Deutsche Wieder. Camera Obscura is another one.
All right.
More in Europe, blind purchase, and it has 2 cover variations.
Wow.
So this is only one. And let me just see, Rob. It actually has English audio and Italian audio, and it has English subtitles. If someone is interested in this title. So it comes with English subtitles. At least the cover says so, you know. It could be 2 different things. Rob, one of your favorite Asian actors, Tony Leung, is in this with Anita Mui and Cho Yun Fat from Tsui Hark. A Better Tomorrow 3.
Yep.
This was almost a Schnäppchen. It was price reduced, and I read about that it's actually a prequel to A Better Tomorrow from John Woo. So this is a German media book, and unfortunately, I haven't got around to see about the quality of Killers. So really looking forward to it. This was nice. It was a little bit price reduced. We've got the DVD in it, DVD and Blu-ray. A Better Tomorrow 3. And Rob, this is a blind one from Michael Haneke, or Michael Haneke. I don't think I have seen this one. It's an older movie from him, a French one. It's called Wolfzeit.
Oh, yeah.
Wolf
I like
Time.
that movie. I have that movie.
Oh, nice one. You have to switch it this way to see the tech specs. So this came out new here. So I don't know. It's not a 4K, just a Blu-ray. And this is from Camera Obscura. Yes. Supermarkt was a different label.
I think the American title is Time of the Wolf.
I think so.
Time of the Wolf?
Could be right. Could be right. Let me see. There's something
It's
here.
It's vaguely science fiction. It's
nice.
it's a post-apocalyptic movie.
Yeah.
And
Michael Haneke is always great. Always great.
Yeah.
And the last one, Rob. I'm gaming at the moment, Rob. I'm gaming. And I was surprised that the game's gotten good reviews, because normally video games that are on movie licenses are particularly often mediocre or bad. But this one, Rob, I actually quite enjoy. I bought RoboCop Rogue City.
Yeah, and you've been posting pictures on Instagram.
Yeah, exactly. I have a blast, Rob, because you just can detect people who made this movie are fans and love the movie as much as we do. It's probably not a AAA title. I would say AAA on the line to a triple A title, because the Unreal Engine does what it does best. It's not that the graphics are insane. It's just great. But the stuff that it's in it, especially for fans, Rob, is great. Today, Rob, I had the little scene. We all know the famous line from Kurtwood Smith, "Bitches leave," and here's a line, Rob, that says, "Bitches come."
Is it Kurtwood Smith doing the voice?
No. But Peter Weller is doing the voice of RoboCop, which of course adds a lot to the game. And for me, Rob, I don't know which observation it was when I thought, yes, Rob, you and I park our shuttlecraft in the same shuttle bay when it comes to gaming. We're too old for that multiplayer stuff. With the kiddies running around, shooting like hell, you told, I don't know which observation you told, you tried to a little bit of Fortnite and said, no, I am too old for this.
Well,
always...
The thing is, gaming it's like golf. You have to put in the time to get good. And we don't have the time. Like, I don't have the time to game as much as when I played Fortnite, I couldn't even land on the goddamn island without getting,
it's frustrating, bro. It's frustrating.
And you turn around and somebody would take you out, which I understand, but and also multiplayer stuff, even in Grand Theft Auto 5. Yeah. I started out having fun.
Yeah. Exactly.
And then I started to get smoked.
But that can really turn really fast into frustration,
Oh yeah.
And then something can probably go flying,
Yeah.
which you should.
Yes. You want to make sure your screens are away from your.
Yeah. Exactly.
Which they never are when you're gaming.
So when a game just says single player, I go up, yeah, single player, And RoboCop is just a single player game. And for me, considering it's an ego shooter, normally you would, from an ego shooter perspective, you would try different weapons, pick up the Desert Eagle, pick up the assault rifle, But the gun from RoboCop is so good, you don't need to switch to any other. I did try that at the beginning, and then I said, no, I don't need to do that. RoboCop doesn't need to do it. Then on the other stuff that I mostly hate when you play an ego shooter, if you have to jump, it's always tough to how far you have to jump. RoboCop doesn't jump. He doesn't duck. He's just straight, and you put justice to the streets. But Rob, it's not just that it is just a plain shooter. You have to do some, police work, give tickets to people who park at fire hydrants, work at the police station at the line. So it's really a lot more than just blowing people's heads off. This is part of the game, and as it should.
You're a cop, man.
And the love of the game was one part of the game where I thought, this is done by people who love the movie. There was a little side mission that you had to do with an informant and go to a video store. You had to pick out a specific videotape. And then RoboCop picked out a videotape and showed it to the informant and says, no, this is not the movie I'm looking for. But there's some interesting history with that movie that you showed, that you show now. The director threw the script away and his wife picked it out of the trash. And as we know, Rob, how RoboCop came to be, this is the history of how it came to be. So you just know that this is made from people who just love the franchise. Of course, Rob, I had a fight with a malfunctioning at 209, which had to be, This was probably at the moment the most difficult part because it's actually not that difficult on normal. But for me, that's just fine, You just can blow away and have a good time. So a total recommendation for me, if you're a RoboCop fan, this is totally great. It misses, of course, a little bit of a polish to get that really triple A title, but for me, I waited for a price reduction, and this is why I always say, Rob, if you buy a gaming console, buy it with the disc version. Not because you can play physical media, of course, this is part 2, but if I had to buy it the digital version, I had to buy the full price.
Yep.
The full price. You can't go. You have no option. You have no option. But the disc version was $20 cheaper as the digital version. No.
So you can go buy you can go buy a steelbook with that.
Yeah, exactly. So it's always a reason for me. If you're buying a gaming console, buy it with the disc, because the disc you can purchase, can look where do I get it for a price reduction, because games are dropping pretty soon always in their price. And I waited considering RoboCop just for a price drop, and I have a blast drop.
Well, that's good.
I had a little gaming session before I put my setup up, and I will probably go back tomorrow, blow some heads off, Rob. Blow off some steam. and this is Rob. This is actually the tempo for us too. RoboCop doesn't run. You can walk a little bit faster.
Wait a minute. Speak for yourself, man. Come on.
Yeah.
We might be getting older, but we can run.
This is our tempo. Rob.
We just can't hide.
Tempo, aesthetic walk. You can walk a little bit faster, but no running, no ducking.
It's like Reacher. Reacher doesn't run.
Yeah.
He just walks.
And just good old single player, Rob. No multiplayer part. The only multiplayer part, Rob, I'm still recommend that we do some Gears of War session together. A little bit of co-op. I'm always for a little bit of a co-op, but all the other ego shooter stuff against each other, like you said, we don't have the time to train 24/7 for that. This was my haul for the last 2 weeks.
All right. Well, we got a few more super chats and things. 5 Dot Toast gifted 5 Burnettwork memberships.
Nice.
To people, thank you for that. That's very nice. Hitchhiker 42 says, could Tron 3 being made get us a 4K Tron release? One would hope, but I normally would say yes, 100% that would happen. Not just 4K Tron, but 4K Tron Legacy. But with Disney now, I don't know, because they've got Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes coming out, and there's no plans to give us the 5 original Planet of the Apes movies in 4K. Who knows? I would have thought that a 4K of Tron and Tron Legacy would have come out with the 100th anniversary. Disney is doing... I heard a terrible statistic, by the way, that I can't actually say the answer, because then somebody would know where I heard this from. But so Fox was acquired by Disney in 2019. Now, the James Cameron movies accepted, because they've been working on the James Cameron films. If you knew the number of Fox library titles, they could give us Patton, they could give us French Connection, they could give us so many things, Zardoz. And, Francis Ford Coppola has Megalopolis coming out this year. He won an Academy Award for writing Patton. It's shocking that Disney's home entertainment, their release of discs, we got in their 100th anniversary, we got Cinderella, which was great, or what did we get? And Sleeping Beauty. Is that what we got? Sleeping Beauty and Cinderella, and we got the Snow White. Or no, was it just? Yeah, I think. And then we got Snow White in 4K. That's it. No Fantasia, no Pinocchio. Their animated classics in 4K. No 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. No Mary Poppins in 4K. They have
just buy our $1,500 box set.
Yeah, which is stuff that they previously released.
Yeah,
not a lot of effort going on there. So the idea, you would think that with Tron 3 now going into production, that they would be prepping Tron in 4K. I mean, Tron in 4K with Dolby Atmos would be incredible, and so would Tron Legacy with the Daft Punk score. They could release a score only. They could put a score only track on that too. I wouldn't hold our breath. Normally, I would say, of course, but I don't know. With Disney, who knows? I mean, they're doing nothing with. I really don't understand the economics of these studios licensing out their. And what have they done with Hollywood Pictures or Touchstone? I don't know. I'd love to get a 4K of Blood In, Blood Out. Yeah. Maybe somebody will license it. Maybe that's a great title for somebody to license out and put out. Maybe Shout will do it. but who knows?
Tom Jr. Jackson Rob is in the live chat, and he asked us if you could please read the milestone membership messages too that are popping up.
Yeah, no, I'm reading those because one of them is from Tom Jr. Jackson.
Okay. There we
Tom
go.
Jr. Jackson says, the captain and his pet trash panda back in business. Rob, thanks for taking the time to chat with me yesterday. Always fun. That was on our member call. It was good to see you. And always fun, Dieter. And then Hitchhiker42 says, Hi all. In your response to your message, Studio Canal announced Near Dark, a Near Dark 4K in June of 2021, 2.5 years ago. Must have waited to do the restoration like True Lies. That could be, although Near Dark is not a Lightstorm movie. It's not a Lightstorm movie. By the way, Sven became a Imagination connoisseur. I don't know if I said that. So they could have waited, or it could have taken time to do the restoration. Hopefully they'll get that out, because Near Dark is one of those. I'd heard that maybe Second Sight would do it. I don't know, but I'd love to get that. Or maybe they're just taking their own sweet time. I don't know. Cara Hughes, by the way, became an Imagination connoisseur. But yeah, Hitchhiker42, man. It's really frustrating. I have to say. I mean, it is really frustrating.
Especially since that would be a title that I think would sell.
You'd think. I mean, these are all big titles, but I mean, I don't know what Disney is doing. I honestly don't, because they seem to have almost no interest in their whatever it is they're trying to do. I really don't know. It's really weird. By the way, A World in Pajamas, Tracy says the movie Sexy Beast has released a TV series on Paramount Plus. It's a prequel series.
Oh, yeah.
I know people who worked on the show. I've not watched it, but believe it's crazy and very naughty. I saw the trailer for Sexy Beast. Again, like they made the American Gigolo series from American Gigolo, and now they made a Sexy Beast series. I mean, crazy.
I didn't know it has ties to the movie.
Oh yeah, it's a prequel. It's a prequel to the movie. I mean, what's next? The Limey prequel? You know, I don't know. It's so weird. I have not watched it, but it looked good. The trailer looked good. And, anyone who's going to live their life or a world in pajamas is inherently naughty. So that's always a good thing. I want to see it.
Yeah.
I'll watch it. So, yeah. So we are caught up.
Okay. Rob, the dreadful moment has arrived.
All right. I turn it over to you, man.
Yeah, you can take a little break. So previously on Let's Get Physical Media. Troy Ulysses. I came here to obsess over physical media and chew bubblegum, and I'm all out of bubblegum. Beat up. Dieter has a new chair. Yes, I have a new chair. Albinal, a new chair maybe, but no new hair. Yeah, that is correct. 2. Tim Hens, never heard of The Wandering Earth. That's hopefully why people tune in to our show to hear about movies that they probably wouldn't hear about. Jamie Cruz, are retailers in Germany cutting back on Blu-rays as well? I actually can't tell you that, because the last time I was really in a store here that sells physical media is some time ago, so I don't know, but I would think so. Paul Allen Brunotto saw Miracle Mile in the theater when first released. A gut punch indeed. Cinecitar 5-star Barber. R&B gets all the credit for me going back to physical media again. Nice. Albinal, special announcement in Germany for Rob. Future Love, aka The Curious Female, will come on Blue, and obviously trashy, erotic, sci-fi absurdity. Okay. NDH, I got Tremors 2 also, Dieter. My first purchase of 2024. Nice, Andy. Nice. Ajay Skorengi, Dieter, I love Tremors 2 Aftershocks. The Graboids have infrared. I have to watch it. Paul in Long Beach. Michael Gross has a blast in Tremors. Yeah, he is the cornerstone of that franchise. The Alex Sorber, Kino Lorber releasing films as if no one from YouTube told them that they should stop, because it's all over. VHS Mikey, keep fighting the good fight and keeping it physical. Rob, you showed the Warner Archive title. No, the Kino Lorber title, Iron Man, in the box set.
Yes.
And Adventure Square said, so Iron Man was a remake, and he added, we filmed that in a studio cave with old cameras and film reels. GA, best reason to start your own YouTube channel, free Blu-rays, okay? Just for me, Joey Johnson, Deeds is the best. And Charlie the Unicorn, Deeds is daytime metal. Vegas RoboCop, he asked already, hey guys, either of you got a chance to play RoboCop Rogue City? As a diehard fan, I'm telling you, the job it does of tying R2, also RoboCop 2 and RoboCop 3 together was great. Yeah, because you have the Meyer of part 2 in it, you have the truck, the nuke is in it. The only thing I don't know, Adam, is the connection to RoboCop 3 at the moment. You would need to help me there, because I haven't seen RoboCop 3 in a long time. Rob, I need your help. Charlie the Unicorn, since you were with Todd Stashwick in Chicago, isn't there a Miracle Mile in Chicago? He just asks.
There is. I mean, I don't know if it's called Miracle Mile.
Okay.
I mean, there's a lot of different places. I mean, we were in Wrigleyville, that was by Wrigley Stadium, where he used to live. But I'm sure there's a Miracle Mile. There's a district like that in downtown Chicago. It's very cool. Yeah. I love Chicago, but I don't know if it's called that or where it is.
Yeah.
So,
Paul L. Brunotto. Hello, Robert and Dieter. Is it Rosrock time soon? No, we'll see.
We shall see.
That. Considering the Enterprise plaque that Rob showed us, we finally know where he got it. Adventure Square. Chekhov got it for Rob while seeking nuclear vessels.
Yes, it's true.
Trent Holtzman. I love the show Titans, except the last season, not so hot. Roman Chopra. What do you do if there is a 4K version online but no physical release? I found Shadows of Forgotten Ancestors restored by a Ukrainian studio, but it's only on YouTube. If it's on YouTube, you could probably download it, but if it's only online, yeah, you can only hope that it will at some time put on physical media. Super Godzilla Vlogs, I love physical media era, DVD still available today. Altmetall, Men from Nowhere and The Wailing for $16.99 each. That's a bargain. Rob, I don't know if you know that. Both of those titles were actually advertised with a Dolby Atmos track, but they don't have a Dolby Atmos track. You can do an exchange program.
Lying liars lie. Did they put the Dolby Atmos track back, or are they just exchanging the discs or something?
They're the replacement. There's a replacement program.
Oh, so they are putting...
Yeah. The back of the cover says Dolby Atmos, but there's just the standard DTS Master audio track on both. But for me, considering the movies itself, there probably was not actually a Dolby Atmos track in the first place, considering those two.
Right.
Movies. But it's advertised on the back of the cover, and they're doing a replacement for it. Rob, you just need to do the usual stuff on the Wellgo USA page. Steven DNA, Physical Media Forever. Charlie the Unicorn, not being able to stroll through an aisle full of Blu-rays and 4Ks looking for something to buy. Purchasing online doesn't have the same feel. Yeah, I grant you that, Charlie the Unicorn. It has not the same feel. Matthew Marcello, good afternoon to the German suplex of knowledge, Dieter Bastian, and the Viceroy of Verisimilitude, Robert Meyer Burnett. How are you two fine and knowledgeable gentlemen doing today? We're doing splendid. Adventure Square, Blue Eye Samurai is must watch, and finally Rob Scutton through it. Was about time.
It's just really, I mean, it's really, really enjoyable on every level. And I have to say, I love the animation. Loved it.
Yeah, blew me away. And Blake Layton wants to know, Rob, since we are speaking of Blue Eye Cinema and anime, I would really like to watch the show, but the time that I had to put in. Rob, do you watch Attack on Titan? I always hear good things about the show, but not.
I said I've seen some of it, not all of it,
Okay.
and I've got a few discs of it too. It's again, it's very kind of wacky, but it's really, I thought it was really interesting.
Yeah. I only know the live action versions of the movie. NDH, Dieter, it's a new 4K steelbook of Contagion, because I was not sure if the Contagion steelbook was an old one that was mentioned. No, because we had problems with the cover artwork of the Emery case, so there is a steelbook version which looks a little bit different. Matthew Marcillo, Dieter is impressing the ladies with his vast movie and television knowledge. Well, I don't know about that. Joey Johnson, I hope The Boy and the Heron comes out in a 4K steelbook. I have the other Ghibli movies in remastered steelbooks. I would really.
Yeah, I would imagine it would.
Yeah, totally. Vixter, who had out Rob with his Exorcist edition. Here to help with your collection, Rob. And she says, I allow Vic, but not Vicky, considering her name. The Alex Sorber. I only want
Victoria. Victoria is a great name.
Yeah. The Alex Sorber. I only want the first prophecy. There should not be any more, but that's not the way exactly. And the Alex Sorber, Play On, formerly Koch Media, is only putting out the first one as a special edition. Adventure Square, did they put Avatar 2 out in 3D? Yes, they did, Adventure Square. So I don't know what exactly are you asking here. And considering Rob bought the new Avatar version 2, Secular Monk, why they didn't release all of these sets at the same time upsets me. I had already bought both movies in June. Yeah, we all did. +1, I watched Avatar again last night. Flawed masterpiece. Altmetall, I'm done with Snyder. Rebel Moon was such a disappointment. At Adventure Square, I might watch Rebel Moon when Part 2 is out. And if Snyder does indeed release a different cut of Part 1, like he threatened to do, let's face it, people, we all will be there for Part 2, Scargiver, when it comes out. Don't kid yourselves. Gone Vidal, I watched Oldboy, didn't love it. Glad I didn't blind buy the new set. Okay. Hope and Glory, my friend Eric Van Shore, who did send me his great graphic novel, and they're working on their fanfic film of for Mad Max. Is the interview between Nicholas and Park Chan comparable to the one we have with William Friedkin on Sorcerer? Rob, do you know anything about the interview? Is that a little bit controversial?
You mean with Nicholas Winding Refn? That interview is hilarious because
okay.
Because William Friedkin's openly mocking Nicholas Winding Refn. Okay. Yeah, because that's what he means. He has a pretty big ego, and Friedkin calls him on it all the time. Ooh, it's pretty funny.
Okay. Funny. That's what Eric was.
Yeah,
I didn't know what he meant. Gordon Waddell, Rob and Dieter, did you guys see that Second Sight is releasing box sets of The Green Room and Possessor? I didn't like The Green Room at all, but I'm considering Possessor. Gordon, now it's time. Please take your shuttlecraft and park at Hangar Bay D down there, okay? Here at the main place, it was Eden Lake, it was The Green Room, Oldboy. Park in shuttlecraft D for a time and think about what you've done and said here. God damn it, Rob.
It's fun. Yeah, I mean that was Jeremy Saulnier, and he made Blue Ruin, and then he made what was the other movie he made after Blue Ruin? Why am I drawing a blank on him? But I'm a big fan of him, and I loved Green Room.
Yeah.
How can you not love Patrick Stewart as a neo-Nazi?
Yeah, exactly. So Gordon, think about it. Just
think about your choices in life.
If cassettes are coming back, then there is plenty of hope for physical media. The Alex Sorber, Conan was a 100% must-buy. Barbarella was an I can't help myself. Secular Monk, what is the difference between the Criterion and Second Sight's version? It is just the swag. I would think so, Rob. Considering I don't think the versions, considering the picture quality, is insanely different, considering Mean Streets. considering a new title. I don't think it's just a swag, or I don't think it would be different. Stubble McShave. Dieter must make his priorities better. Night shift is not an excuse. That's how it is, Stubble, if you're a blue-collar worker. Perrine, long live physical media. Condo 007. My God, the finale of Reacher was awesome. I did have a great time with it.
It was just fun. It was fun.
Yeah, totally. Press X to continue says, hello there. I was told there would be a German. I'm here. Not last week. Gordon Bedell, I could never do non-alcoholic beer, especially in Germany. Yeah, I know. The Alex Sorber, I'm watching under no Dieter protest. Roman Schober, greetings from Warsaw. Was Bastian kidnapped by those German tractor drivers? Yeah, we had a little bit of a strike here with the farmers going on, but luckily I swooped around. Peter Cunnington, Robert, your movie Free Enterprise is showing next month at the Victoria Film Festival, and there's going to be another event with Eric McCormick.
Yeah,
nice. Cold, considering Rob did that segment last week about All That Jazz is not available. He says All That Jazz is on YouTube, actually. Okay. Thomas Merriman, if someone put out Staying Alive on 4K, they can certainly do All That Jazz on 4K.
I agree. But All That Jazz is a Columbia 20th Century Fox co-production.
Okay. Yeah. Raging Dino, where the heck am I supposed to buy my movies now? Can't rely on eBay all the time. Best Buy is done, and so is Target. Walmart is like the last one, and they are terrible. Yeah. Considering the normal stores are not stocking up on physical media. PL, never apologize, Robert. Love your content. Paul Nolan, hi Dieter, are you going to see Saarbrücken next cup match? It will be on, I think, February 7, but it's probably sold out, and I will not watch it. But I will, of course, have fun with it if they're going around even further. The Alex Sorber, Dieter, you ever had a blackout like Klaus Meine did, the singer from Scorpions? If I had, Alex, perhaps I wouldn't remember it. Adam Mohammed, Rob is the GOAT. I can listen to him for hours.
That's very kind of you.
Thomas Merriman, I spent 200 on the German Knight Rider box set. And Raging Dino, me too. It's a bad habit, but I hope you are very satisfied with the box set that Turbine put out, considering the Knight Rider. Hey Marcellus, unfortunately I don't have a big house, so I keep all my movie discs in a binder and just burn to my Plex server. I don't have room to display steelbooks and collector's edition. Yeah, room is actually, it can be a problem. It is.
Plex servers are cool, though. I mean, that's cool.
Bill Barkley, hey guys, I watched ISS, The Beekeeper, and Lift. All good. Okay, but I don't know, Bill Barkley, what Lift is. Rob, can you help me out to have heard about the movie Lift?
Lift is the Kevin Hart movie about the
now I remember.
Yeah.
It's on Netflix.
The heist, yeah.
Patrick Williams. However, streamers of movies with OLED TV sets has nothing to show their movie loving habits. All they have to show is an OLED, whether LG, Sony, or Panasonic, is in an empty room. That to me looks stupid. Movies is pretty much physical media and not just OLED viewing it. Okay, Kyle Byriger, even the movie quotes too on the packaging are going to be missed. Yeah. A. Marcellus, wish your buddy John Campia would think this way. He has become the typical modern drone. Hey. Kenneth Crayley Jr., this is my 34th year collecting physical media. And Irene Jobson, I usually use Rob's rants to nap to. Yeah, they can be.
Thanks, Irene. As long as I can lull you to sleep with the dulcet tones of my ranting, we're doing well.
And I don't know, Kenny, if Rob can get an answer to this. Rob, now that Superman and Lois will be ending with season 4, what are your thoughts on the series and the Berlantiverse, Arrowverse shows as a whole? I thought the shows were wonderful. Rob, have you seen Superman and Lois? I have not.
I like Superman and Lois. That's probably by far my favorite Berlantiverse show. Right. And I think what's interesting about that show, what I thought was a really great choice is you make Superman a father. It immediately, no superpowers can help you be a better dad. So, the big problem with a Superman movie is you have to figure out a way to create a problem for him that usually isn't always credible. Like, everyone's like, well, Luthor's the villain, but Superman can't fight Luthor. Like, one punch or one blast of his X-ray vision would kill Luthor in an instant. So you keep bringing back Luthor, and he's like trying to outsmart Superman or do something to Superman, but he can't really do that much because Superman could just take him out. So how do you find a credible villain for Superman to fight, whether it's Bizarro, Metallo, Mongol, all the olds? It's hard to do, but in order for Superman to be a good father, that is, superpowers can't help you. And I thought that was a really great choice to make, and they really leaned into the family aspects of it all, and I thought it was really, really good. It was really good. And but they also did really interesting stuff with the whole Superman canon of characters, which I thought was good. I really enjoyed it. To me, it was the least goofy and the most resonant of all the Berlantiverse stuff. I mean, I liked it, but even the Flash kind of ran around in circles for a lot of seasons. Legends of Tomorrow was fun, but it was all kind of goofy. But Superman and Lois, I thought was
the stuff that I like about Legends, that it was so wacky.
Yeah, it was wacky, and it worked for that show. But
yeah, exactly.
So, but I like the Berlantiverse.
GA, the final episode of Reacher was fine, but I was expecting something more grand. I'm certain there were budget limitations. Amazon can afford better. Yeah, take some of that Rings of Power money and put it into Reacher. A question, Rob, from Fred Leggett. Does a negative suffer unavoidable damage as a result of being scanned? I wouldn't think so.
No, not if it's taken care of, because like they'll do a wet gate transfer, so the negative should be. I mean, obviously, whenever you handle a negative, something's going to happen to it. But for the most part, it should be. You put it up on a machine and you literally scanning it. The scanning itself doesn't do anything to the negative.
Yeah, there you go, Fitlinger. And Blade Out said, just driving around in John Voight's car. Always nice to closing up the live chat with a Seinfeld quote. This was the live chat one.
Well, we have a few more. Dot Toast sends in a super chat and says, I'll give Disney the benefit of the doubt about restoring Tron because the elements were all Super Panavision 65mm and or VistaVision. They might be future-proofing it with a warranted 8K master. That is a very distinct possibility. But on the other hand, I'm not sure if they are doing that, because here's the problem. It used to be that a lot of the physical media departments, that the DVD departments, Blu-ray, whatever, they had a healthy budget. They were budgeted out from the studio. And then like special features and things were actually, they came out of the marketing budgets of the studio, had a marketing budget, and they considered what I would do making special features marketing. So that's where the money came from. The problem with studios now is, where is the money going to come from? Because it's all like studios, they're borrowing money to make their big movies. Now they have profit. They're a working business, but at a studio, everything that they buy every last penny that's spent is they keep track of it. So, for instance, if you are in your department, you buy coffee. They buy you coffee. Like, you get a coffee shipment once every 2 weeks or something. All of that is tracked. And they have to have the budget in order to do that. And things like that are the first things they cut. So making an 8K transfer, going back in and making a new 8K master or something, that's labor intensive. And where's that money coming from? And that's the problem. I mean, I think with all these studios that are in debt, they're looking to cut costs. So in order to spend the money, doing any kind of a transfer is laborious. And if they own their own equipment, even if the studio owns its own equipment, like for instance, motion picture imaging, which is on the lot at Warner Brothers, they're still beholden. Like no one can just walk in there and transfer something. They have to have the budget because even though it's an internal business, one side has to pay the other side for the work that's being done. So it's strange. It's strange on one hand, but it's all money within the same ecosystem. But things have to be paid for because they have to justify their expense. So the real question is, the only way that someone's going to spend money on retransferring a movie is if they feel if there's some revenue stream that movie can then go into to pay back whatever it cost to do the restoration and hopefully make a profit. That's why when we were working on Star Trek The Next Generation and it was being restored, you had 3 different divisions in Paramount that would pay for it. It came out of the budgets of home entertainment, of syndication and international, and then also there was one other. So 3 divisions were paying for it out of their operating budgets. So it all has to be copacetic when it comes to who's going to pay for what. And I think that's why we haven't got a lot of transfers yet, because who's paying for those transfers? You know, we just think studios have money.
Yeah.
They don't. I mean, Barbarian doesn't even have a physical media release. Barbarian, a movie that did quite well, that's a horror film. I think Second Sight, and I don't even know if Disney will license these. Barbarian was made under the auspices of Fox, now 20th Century Studios, and so is The Empty Man. Why not allow those titles to be licensed out by Shout Factory, licensed out by, but Disney's not going to give any of their movies up, or I don't know what they're doing. I think
especially like the Zetra, the horror crowd will be the last standing buying.
Yeah, the genre crowd in general, science fiction, fantasy, and horror fans, they'll be the last people. If you've got a horror film or a science fiction movie, you should be putting those things out. You will always make money. You will always sell those titles to the fans. Always. You're going to sell physical media. I mean, look, at least for the next 10 years or whatever. The real problem with physical media is ultimately you're going to run out of players. Who's going to make players? It'll be no longer profitable for any of the major manufacturers to manufacture a Blu-ray or a 4K player or a DVD player, a disc player at all, because there won't be enough discs to justify tooling up and manufacturing players. And that time will come. I don't know how long it'll last. I think Xbox and PlayStation certainly extended the life of discs, but you know, we don't know. But
at least Universal's quarter was not dipping down. But
no. And to be fair, most of that comes from, it's digital downloads. I mean, I have no illusions, but you know, Oppenheimer is a banger of a disc, and I think you know, it's something that I've certainly revisited multiple times since I've owned that disc. And
great special features.
Yeah, great special features, and it's sold out, and it's a really, really great disc, and it shows what physical media can still have. But you know, the world is changing, and it's if you look at, I mean, physical media has been around almost for 50 years. You know, VHS, half a century, and for technology, we've seen the rapid progress of technology. I mean, how long did the phonograph last? I know people still make vinyl, but it's not. It's still kind of a niche thing now, but 50 years to have the kind of technology as we transfer over to streaming and virtual space, and it's not a bad run. And the thing that scares me the most, as I've said many times on the show, is without physical media and the way analytics work, there's going to be so much of our cinematic history that's going to be lost simply because people just won't watch it anymore. And the general population wants to be entertained, and pop culture, as I said, in my own mind, I don't have any research to back this up. I've just said from my own experience, I think pop culture has a half-life of 20 years. Every 20 years, pop culture is forgotten, really, or some of pop culture is forgotten because it's of the time it was made.
It's not a big idea, yes.
You know, and so a lot of Asian cinema, you know, whoever's controlling. Like, I don't understand, with all of these Asian films, there should be an Asian, maybe there is, and I'm sure in Asia there is, obviously, but somebody should start an Asian cinema channel. And again, there's probably many examples of this, but to put all these, whether it's Korean, whether it's Indonesian, whether it's Japanese, whether it's Chinese, like all of these, Vietnamese, whatever, there should be a repository where all of these movies are placed. Like I wish, on Earth that there was a multinational organization that existed outside of governments and politics that was just like the United Nations of the preservation of art. So it doesn't matter what global conflicts are happening. This group would make sure that like all of this art, all the cinema that was ever created in all of these countries was preserved somewhere. Whether it's film, I know we've got the National Registry of Films and all that, but I'm talking about on a global scale. Like all the Eastern Bloc science fiction movies that we haven't been able to see. We've seen some of them. Vinegar Syndrome put out that box set of 4 movies I hadn't seen. And you got Getting Under the Silver Globe, which was great. I wanted to see that, and that was the communist government stopped that movie from getting made. But all the other stuff that we haven't seen and preserving all that. Now, most people don't even know these movies exist, much less want to watch them if it shows up on their subscription service feed. But this group would also be in charge of making sure that there's a repository of knowledge about these films where you could go and you could go to some kind of a website or some kind of a portal, and it would take you and give you the whole history of all these movies, because we're losing all of that. And if you like the art form of cinema, and cinema is a finite art form, it only goes back a little more than 100 years, so it's possible to preserve all of it, the world's cinema. But then again, as human civilization moves forward, maybe we won't have a use for cinema anymore. I would think that's sad, but that's because I'm a product of being born in the 1960s and being alive even to this day and growing up with cinema. If humanity has no more need for cinema, then as evolution would do to us, cinema will fade away. And it's really up to us to decide whether we preserve it. I mean, it's amazing we have as much art preserved in museums as we do. But it's we don't know very much about human culture before 5,000 years ago. And we keep finding little things, but I don't know. I'd hope that cinema would be preserved. But the one thing that I fear is that so much of this stuff. But then again, people might ask, Rob, is it really important that Thriller: A Cruel Picture exists?
Your prime example.
Well, I always go back to that because it was such a movie that it was a movie that really shocked me, because I'd seen They Call Her One Eye, and when I finally saw the uncut version, it's like got hardcore sex in it. I was like, oh my God, like I had no idea. And that was really, or like, I don't say a Serbian
You only got the action version, Rob. The Americans got the action version. We probably in Europe got the sex version, but not the action.
Yeah, it's true. And it was a very, I say that, but I mean, like movies like a Serbian film. Do you want to preserve a Serbian film? Well, I would say yes, but I don't know how many people would feel the same way.
Especially with that movie, bro.
Yeah.
But we're guilty of owning it both.
And that's the thing. What does that say about us?
Yeah. Because, Rob, I was actually surprised considering a Serbian film. I knew just the hype about the movie, but I thought it was a nice trip into madness. It actually had a little bit of depth, and I was just expecting, just a poor done splatter.
Oh no, it's a well made movie.
It wasn't, and that surprised me. Considering story wise.
Yeah, no, yeah. Indeed. I don't know. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see where it all goes. I mean, I'm sorry that I've often thought it would be Like, I would love to be able to live like a couple of thousand years. Like, if I could, not at the expense of other people. Like in Jupiter Ascending, they come and they harvest all the human beings on Earth or whatever, or other planets, and they use that the royal family uses that harvesting to stay alive forever. I wouldn't want to do that. I wouldn't want to live. I wouldn't want to be immortal off the blood of other human beings. But it would be interesting.
Do what you got to do, Rob.
That's true. It's true. Like all the us Hollywood elites that drink our adrenochrome that we've harvested from tortured children underneath pizza parlors and all that. Because why not? But and by the way, who's become immortal because of that? No one. But it would be interesting if only to see culture change. Like, I wouldn't have wanted to live 1,000 years ago because no hot and cold running water, no flush toilets. Everybody was gross and disgusting. There were fleas everywhere. People dumped their bedpans out windows. Everything stunk. I wouldn't want to, no. But if we stick around for the next 2,000 years, I wouldn't mind seeing where things go. And I could make sure that I always had some bank account that was accruing interest, so I would always have a place to put my physical media. As long as I could have some place, like some. We
just have to transfer our consciousness on 3 USB drives.
I know, yeah. Well, I'll do that, and then I'll take my Plex server and I'll put all the movies on my Plex server so I can just watch them. Well, it's gonna be. I'll tell you what's really gonna be interesting. Speaking of that, Google. Not Google. What is the new Apple Vision? Is it called Apple Vision? Okay. So the new Apple like goggles that they're putting out. Okay. It'll be really interesting to see when it can generate like the inside of your favorite theater, make it, and so you could watch your physical media like you're in a theater, and you can put it in your peripheral vision however you want to adjust it. So it makes it look like you're watching something on the big screen. However that's going to work, I can't wait. I just want to be able to plug.
If it comes to 3D, Rob, I'm in.
Well, why shouldn't it? And what I want to, I don't know if it'll have an HDMI port, but it should be able to generate without. Shouldn't have to wear. It should be able to figure out a way to give you a 3D image without having glasses. I don't know if they've looked into that, but that's got to be coming. It's got to be coming. I don't know. We'll see.
Fingers crossed.
Stub McShave writes in and says, Kevin on the Zoom chat yesterday inspired me to go into my storage and dig out some old Star Wars paperbacks. I'll start with the 19 new Jedi Order books. I can't wait to be excited by good Star Wars again. It will keep me until Andor Season 2, which is the only good of the new Star Wars. I like Andor. Tom Jr. Jackson says a great family double feature, thriller, a cruel picture, and chitty chitty bang bang. Fun for the whole family.
Nice.
I got nothing. I got nothing more.
Yeah. And since, Rob, you're already looking forward to your next stream, even if I wanted to add something to the show, I will save it for next week to do that. And I would say we are at the end of the show, and I say, jede Person, die du triffst, hat eine
I think we have to give a shout out for our new opening. You know what I mean?
For Alex.
I know, it's pretty cool, right? He used Xevious' music. But, so yeah, give a shout out. Who did that?
A new intro for a fourth season. What can you
and who did that?
Alec Deacon.
And where is he?
In England, in the UK.
In the UK. So thank you for that. That was very, very cool.
And hopefully we'll do something more. For a special show.
For a special guest. Yes. So that would be good. All right. Well, I'm going to go over to George the Giant Slayer's stream after this at 1:00. So join us over there. It's ongoing right now, but I will jump in at 1. And then I will probably be doing another Robservations this evening. Longer than last night's. I just did a quick one because I wanted to touch on that Jordan Peterson. I keep saying Jordan Peterson.
Yeah.
It's so funny because Jordan Peterson's a whole different story, and what's going on with him is very interesting. I know he's a very divisive character, but or individual. But when I say Jordan Peterson, I did read his book, 12 Rules for Life, however, which is a good book. It makes sense, but it makes me want to clean up my physical media collection, which seems to never happen. But anyway, on that note, go ahead. What were you going to say?
Jede Person, die du triffst, hat eine Geschichte zu erzählen, die du noch zu hören hast. Alles, was du tun musst, ist zuhören.
Every person you meet has a story to tell that you have yet to hear, and all you have to do is listen. I want to give a big thanks to Tom Jr. Jackson. I want to give a big thanks to everybody else that we have in the chat. Our moderators. Lord Toth is here. I don't know if
Justin Toner was
Justin's here. I don't know if he is, but if he isn't, I'm just going to say thanks to Justin Toner anyway. And I want to thank Lord Tarth for being Lord Toth, and so I can say that every week because it makes me feel good to say it. I want to thank all of you for generously supporting the channel via super chats and tips, and also all of you members. We had a few new people in the chat yesterday. B Depp, I'm going to find out. I will talk to George Feltenstein about Under the Rainbow and see what he says. I will make that my lot in life, and hopefully we will be able to lock down this Cynthia Rothrock visitation. So you better do your research, Dieter, because
I will have to get a holiday, Rob. If it's the 18th February. Actually would be my night shift. I would have to I will try to take the day off then.
I would love to see you try and explain that to your boss. No, you don't understand. I can't come into work today. I'm interviewing Cynthia Rothrock.
Ooh.
But yeah, there we go.
I'm trying to do my homework, Rob. I will try to do my homework.
Yeah, I'll do the homework too, because I interview a lot of people. Oh, by the way,
you just can say, Rob, I watched Magic Crystal.
I do. I was touching that disc yesterday.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
And sure, look what we've got.
It's wacky.
So all good. All right, kids. I will let you all go. Thanks for being here.
See you next week.